Hey, hey, goddess. Okay, could you sense someone's energy just looking at their body language? Oh, yeah, I'm really good at that. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate y'all. Peace, peace, everybody. Oh, I want to share this to Facebook too. My bad. One more. Year of 8 for everybody so far. It was a great time. I appreciate the gifts. Please let me know if y'all can hear me okay. So I wanted to get into a couple readings before we jump right into the year of 9 and the numbers and things. Because there's a lot of different season things. First, I wanted to talk about the New Year's, just to give everybody a brief bit of insight on like the different New Year's on the different calendars. Dang, I should have wrote the numbers for the years on those different calendars. I did not do that. But I had a really good live yesterday. Shouts to Daniel. We had a really good dialogue on the portals being opened by the Pope, and the different energy went down a whole rabbit hole with that, about the Vatican being a sovereign entity, space or whatever. And maybe some people have like their citizenship tied to the Vatican and Vatican rituals when you join and woo woo wop. It was a great time. I appreciate y'all for personal hearts too. Thank you guys. But that was yesterday. Today, okay, so we are entering the year of 9. This year of 9 started in 2017, which is really interesting. 2017 was the year of 1. So a lot of rituals began in that year of 1. Like when we were doing the rabbit hole situation yesterday on the stream, we were talking about how we started looking up stuff that happened in the year of 1. So if you guys can think of any great events, big events that happened in 2017, that's when that's what's been working in the workings up into the year of 9, right? So 2017 was when President Trump became the 45th president. That was one thing. So it's very interesting that he's becoming president again and doing the inauguration, which is another word for omen, this year in the year of 9. Very interesting. That's also when we got Pope Francis, which was like the Pope that started opening up in the controversies about, sex scandals in the church, and, how they were doing their banking system and all the other corrupt stuff happening in church. So the fact that they start, from that space in year 1. He's also like the first like Hispanic Pope as well. So starting that from the year 1, and then seeing the growth of the Me Too movement, because the Me Too movement started in 2017 too. And now look at where we are with all of that, stuff happening in Hollywood and the government. So, seeing how those rituals started to now opening up those portals, and the portals going back to the first pope ever created, the first church dedicated to Mary being the mother of God, and the other church being in alignment with the Lateran Treaty, which talks about the Vatican being sovereign. Like all these different portals coming out. Very interesting. We like it here. I got my popcorn. I'm enjoying the show. It's very Shakespearean. We had in the year of 8, we started off with like, the monologue by Cat Williams kind of setting the tone. And then we kind of went from there with the different gestures and the, comedic relief and stuff. Yeah, right. You got your popcorn. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? Oh my God, you're so funny. But yeah, so all very interesting, thinking about all the things that started in 2017. We also had a lot of massacres happening in 2017. We go down that rabbit hole too. I don't know if you remember that whole what was that, like a shootout or something at the Ariana Grande concert that happened then. Sandy Hook was in 2017? Really? Dang. When the guy was on the London Bridge and he was just hitting people, when the guy was driving his truck into the Twin Tower memorial and he hit people, when that shootout happened in Vegas, somebody was shooting from the hotel room down onto the crowd that was outside. So it was a lot of that going on in 2017. You may be incorrect. I'm not sure what year Sandy Hook happened. You missed that one? Yeah. I got mine too. I'm enjoying it all. Right. It's been very interesting thinking about all the things that happened in the year 1 that, Seeing now and seeing that they're opening up these gates, and it's supposed to be the year of Jubilee. Thank you for the favor. It's supposed to be the year of Jubilee, so it's supposed to be like cleanse and repentance and paying off debts and giving people clean slates and stuff. That's supposed to be the energy here in this space when those portals were open. So I find all of that pretty interesting. So getting into it with the January 1st situation, using the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar was supposed to be uh, like a cleanup of the Julius calendar, because it was the Julius calendar that had like a lot of corrupt stuff put in there, politicians and stuff like that. It is a solar. Hey, Smooth, I couldn't talk for a second. Well, I know of the guy in Las Vegas who, the university. Okay, yeah. Hey, Smooth. Welcome back, Yona. Um, but yeah, so this was established and kind of put out there with Pope Gregory the 13th in 1582, Numa Rome. So the Gregorian calendar concept was created in 715 to 673 BCE. This revised the Republican calendar. So January is Janus, which is the Roman god of all beginnings and transitions. So that's why, January is the new year and this is the first month. And so what happened was they had to add like 2 winter months to the calendar. And so this calendar is based upon the sun and Earth's movement around the sun. And so it was in alignment with helping like agriculturalists, be more in alignment with the seasons. So that's why this calendar is more so based upon the solstices and the equinox, which is more in the seasons. This calendar was not made official until January 1st, 153 BCE. And Great Britain and American colonists did not adopt this calendar until 1752. So that's a fun fact. Is this the calendar the ones Western folks are using? Yes, it is the Western folks. We use this one. See you, love you guys. Love you too. Happy New Year's. I'll see you next year. You look so nice. My boots is in the car though. I'm gonna put my high boots to come up to the ring. Oh, I love it. Okay. Yes. Hi, Avery. I'm good. How are you? Okay, so the Orthodox Church still follows the Julian calendar, and so their New Year's is actually January 14th. We also got into the Chinese New Year, which is based on the lunar calendar. This was created by the Shang Dynasty over 3,000 years ago. And the New Year is based upon having the second new moon after the solstice, which is going to be pretty early this year because we had a black moon. And hey, Muhammad, how you doing, love? We actually had a black moon, a couple days ago. And so what a black moon is when you have 2 new moons in the same month. We only get one like every 33 months, so it's pretty cool when we get one. And it's, dope that we got one in the last year, 8, the last month in the year, 8. I actually forgot about New Year's. Well, the Western one, because I believe the real one is in March. Okay, yeah. Happy New Year's. I do both because with the Gregorian is like in alignment with like our experience with the sun. And then I do, I like the March because that is in alignment with the sun and the moon. It's like solar lunar. And so, yeah, it makes sense. Happy New Year's, Muhammad. How you doing, love? So, yeah, it makes sense. We have a lot of New Year's. And then when you get into the money of the things, the fiscal New Year's, that is from September 30th to October 1st. So you have, that New Year's as well. Excuse me. But the Chinese Lunar New Year is usually around January 21st or 20th. Persian New Year's is March 20th. They're also the one in March. That is called Nowruz, which means new day. And that's 13 dates. And that celebration lasts for 13 days, and it dates back to the 6th century BC. The Buddhist New Year's is also around March. It's from March 22nd to April 1st. So it's kind of like the second half of the month. It aligns the sun and the moon, and it mostly deals with the sidereal. And it starts like that. The first year started when the Gautama Buddha passed. So when that Buddha passed, that started the year one. Like our year one was the death of Christ, which is interesting how like the year ones are associated with death rather than birth. But the Islamic New Year is mostly it's lunar. All the holidays, all the holy days in the Islamic calendar are lunar based, and their New Year is June 26th. And so this is when the lunar crescent moon, from lunar crescent moon to lunar crescent moon is 355, makes 355-day calendar, and that's how their months are set up. Their year one is when Muhammad went from Mecca to Medina, and the first crescent moon after the new moon during that month, which is called, and I apologize if I butcher it, but Muharram. And so it's the first crescent moon after he did that trip. That is the new year. And that's usually in June. Now, the ancient Kemetic New Year, and you'll see some people who practice ancient, Kemetic practices, which is Coptic. They have wet Renpet. And that's in September. Their New Year is in September, September 11th or the 12th. It goes back and forth. And this is more so in alignment with Sirius Star, which is, a big deal in those cultures over there. I can't wait. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. I'm sorry. It used to be in alignment with the flooding of the Nile and the return of Sirius Star. Which I made it like the middle of July. So you'll hear some people say that the New Year's is July 25th, but then it got moved to September. 120, oh yeah, that's when I talk about the Omen Day. 12333 is when we have the Omen Inauguration Day. The Sigwe Festival is in 2032. Now the Sigwe Festival is celebrated by the Dogon tribe with the Sirius Star, and they say that they come from these stars. And that's when you start dealing with the nomos, which are like the mermaids that they give credit for giving them the intellect. And that story goes back because a lot of cultures give their knowledge, that's been given to them from like mermaids, nomos, nagas. The Dravidians have, their what did the Dravidians call them? I think they called them nomos as well. And so, all that is in alignment. Anyway, so their Sigwe Festival is when the Sirius Star comes back into the ecliptical orbit. And that happens once every 50 or 60 years. And the next one is in 2032. And they give that credit to like why it keeps getting hotter and hotter every year is Sirius Star getting closer and closer to us. So it's like hotter summers and stuff. But yeah, that's all New Year's energy. We are entering the year of the wood snake. This is positive develop. This is a good time to like really plan stuff. So when we enter the energy of the wood snake, this is a good time to, really be organized. It's not time to do impulsive things, last minute thinking, doing things without a plan. All of that stuff is like a no-go because it will, it won't go that well because the snake is methodical. This is a good year for the rat because the rat is also methodical. So snakes and rats coming together in any type of area, that space is going to be very successful this year. The dragon will ambition will blend well with the snake planning this year. The ox's steady and reliable nature will benefit from the snake's growth and how the snake moves slow and steady this year. The rooster will have positive developments in career and love. The monkey's adaptability will bring in new beginnings with the methodical snake. And of course, the snake will do very well in its own energy. And this is career advancement and being aware of overconfidence is the lesson for the snake to learn this year. Be mindful of the hubris. Now, the signs that will be challenged this year, tiger, because tigers like to move impulsively. Their impulsive nature may clash with the snake's calculations. So be mindful of making hasty, moves, being too rash and things like that. Make sure you think things out because you don't want to get these like methodical lessons in hindsight. The pig also may be challenged because they have clashing personalities, conflicting personalities, and that may cause caution in one's finances and emotions. The snake is the sixth sign in the Chinese zodiac, which is really cool because 6 deals with Virgo energy. And Virgo is all about being methodical, planning things out, organizing, pay attention to detail, tap into your Virgo placements, tap into your 6th house, your routine, your habits, your daily, your routine, your habits, what you pay attention to, what you're listening to, what you're learning, what you're teaching, what you're speaking on, your moral code, your integrity code, paying attention to all the details of that and being like really self-managed. That's a really good energy to have on the 6. 6 deals with equality too. So like this is a nice equal exchange. And we do have this year karma entering Virgo. And I want to get into that tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to do the planetary forecast during the hump day reading. Today we're just going to do a 2025 numerology recap, which is really exciting. Okay, so yeah, Taurus is also very well with the 6 because Taurus is slow and steady like the ox, and that's very, nice for the methodical. Snake energy. And then I wanted to read like an excerpt out of my book. So for anybody that is interested in aligning your East and West astrology, I do have this really good book on top of my really dope intuition because I've been reading this book and exercising it. But it aligns your Chinese astrology with your Western zodiac. So I am actually a Virgo horse, and it's fun here. We love it here. So let's talk about the snake. We're entering the year of the wood snake, y'all. Being cool, calm, and collected. So the snake is Yang. And like I said, snake is the 6th sign of the Chinese horoscope. And snakes have the following characteristics: intuition, attractiveness, discretion, sagacity, clairvoyance, and compassion. Snake sins may include dissimulation, extravagance, laziness, cupidity, presumption, and exclusiveness. In our Judeo-Christian society, snakes don't have a good image. It was, after all, the snake's body in which our own devil chose to hide whilst tempting poor Eve with an apple. But in the Chinese culture, snakes are considered both wise and beautiful, beneficial and sensual. Therefore, my Aunt Florence's comment about her handsome neighbor who made off with his wife's hairdresser, that snake, doesn't always hold true. Snakes can be ultra virtuous people, except of course when they are lying. Snakes are always beautiful, even if they are not classically pretty to look at. There is a quality about snakes that make them lovely to look at. Snakes dress well and even a bit ostentatiously. They apply cosmetics and drape jewelry to fix this and tack up that just the way it should be. Snakes have a natural talent for elegance. They adore accessories, scarves, gloves, hats, Cartier watches, Louis Vuitton luggage, and money. In China, to tell a woman that she is a veritable snake is the summit of compliments. And why not? Snakes are fabulous people. Not only do they look sensual, but they are wise. Ask a snake for advice and he will sit down, ponder, and consider before replying. Because snakes have inborn intuition about almost everything, they get a lot of hunches. They're frequently clairvoyant. What's more, they can strike with unmitigated cheek at the moment's notice, cut an adversary to quick, and slink away with impunity. Why do you suppose almost all snake people are rich? They always seem to have money coming out of their silken sleeves, and yet when you take a good look, they don't seem to have to work too hard to come by their wealth. It must be the charm and the intimidable attractiveness that causes the pennies to rise out of the pockets of others and float to those elegant decorative purses snakes are so famous for. In fact, if I tell you the whole truth about snakes, I have to admit that although some of my best friends are snakes, they all have a dreadful streak of laziness. Indolence is the snake's real and only enemy. He or she must fight every day to move up and forward and go and do. Inside, the snake has enormous ambition, but the will is not always the way. Snake people must do daily battle with the great god gravity and get out of their cozy beds and slither out into the big cold world. Snakes are possessive. No, not possessive. Snakes are positively feudal about their mates. They are said to roll themselves around in their loved one until the person is smothered by their enchanting beauty and charm. Certain unsuspecting people are well advised to stay away from snakes. Snakes are extravagant and are known to purchase enormously expensive items without calm. However, much of the time, the snake is close with his wealth and is loath to spend money on day-to-day routine items. Splurging is fun, but buying the milk is a chore. The snake likes to recline and prefers cake to bread anyway. So that's snake stuff. That sounds like Scorpio. That sounds like Scorpio. So that is, snake energy. To get into American Indian astrology, from December 22nd to January 19th, we are in the energy of the snow goose. This is the turtle clan. which is water, self-confidence, and teach those around us. Find balance in adapting to our environment, and needing to find integrity to boost self-confidence is key here as well. Now, once January 20th rolls around, we will be in the energy of the otter, and we'll be there till February 18th. This is the butterfly clan. So now we get into the air energy, y'all. And if you notice the pattern with American Indian astrology, you'll see that it's more so in alignment with the transitions into the constellations than it is the zodiac. So it's more Vedic and sidereal than it is tropical zodiac. But the butterfly clan demand bliss and help, invite us to behave like children, having fun and accept the flow of life and experiences, and having strength and smoothing out any circumstances is a vibe here. So that is the American Indian astrology. As far as the alchemist horoscope, we're about to enter the year of 9. So entering the year of 9 is associated with gold. This is the year of gold, y'all. Being passionate, interesting, and faithful. People attracting many people, being generous, kind, king, and lasting relationships, love, luxuries, and spending money, ambition, and willpower are big keys here. You know, gold is associated with that Leo energy, being confident and courageous, paying attention to our Tiphareth, which is the sixth Sephiroth. Snake is the sixth sign in the Chinese zodiac. So that's where we're at with it. Hey, Don, how you doing, love? Hey Julie, peace. And so, we're moving out of the energy of harvest and granary. That ends on January 3rd. We've been in that energy since the 4th of December. And that's being lucky and prosperous, taking initiative, being born to be successful, knowing how to obtain your riches, wisdom, and generosity, enjoy making others pleasant, and trying to conquer that thought to move impulsive when opportunities arise is a big one. Starting January 4th, till February 3rd, we'll be in the Baobab energy. And this is being firm, stable, strong, invincible, having resources to conquer, resisting resilience. Sounds a lot like the Capricorn energy. Self-confidence, interesting, honesty, reflection, and cleverness, living in a well-structured and prosperous life. So that is the West African horoscope. And so now we have made it to the Kabbalah. You guys know I love it here. So we just entered Capricorn energy on the tropical chart about a week ago or so. And so I'm going to read Capricorn because that's where our thoughts are, despite where our energy is, our thoughts are in Capricorn. And I'll read Aquarius too because we do enter Aquarius in the middle of the month. So Tevet is Capricorn, and the month of Tevet and the sign of Capricorn are both ruled by Saturn. Saturn provides the law enforcement in the cosmos, giving us each exactly what we deserve. This is the reason that Saturn has gotten such a bad rap amongst astrologers. The book of Formation, written by Abraham the patriarch more than 4,000 years ago, reveals that Saturn is responsible for the distractions, diseases, death, jail, poverty, disgrace, shame, and many other obstacles that plague our lives. Capricorn is an earth sign with a strong connection to the material world, and people born in this month have a strong need for financial security. They believe only in what their five senses convey and have trouble seeing beyond the apparent. Capricorn represents the right column of the earth signs, which signifies that its internal energy is water. This translates into the Capricorn's helpful and caring character. Capricorns are family-oriented and have strong ties to the home. They are great caretakers who can often lack faith in the light force because they are easily controlled by physical forces. They fear what tomorrow might bring and a potential lack of funds for survival. These fears keep many Capricorns from becoming more spiritual. Those born in Tevet are traditionally reliable, responsible, caring, thrifty, and punctual. After all, time is money. They make excellent business people, accountants, engineers, attorneys, and any disciplinary position from crossing guard to drill sergeant. According to the Book of Formation, the Ayin and Bet are the Hebrew letters controlling this month. The letter Ayin created Capricorn and the letter Bet created Saturn. The combination of Ayin and Bet is a level of Chokmah and that's Jupiter. Chokmah is the second Sephiroth. The Yud He Vav He, the Tetragrammaton, is spelled out. And Capricorns have to do And Capricorns do have this wisdom because the original desire of Saturn is to reach the light. Capricorn is one of the 3 hardest months of the year, but thanks to the holiday of Hanukkah, which extends itself to the first 2 days of Tevet, we do receive an injection of light force that can sustain us throughout this month. So Capricorn is like when we're like really going to the darkest, night of the year. That's when we get to the solstice. And that's also when like in another world, the seeds are in the soil, all the different things are going on in the soil. You can't see it, you can't get through it because the earth is getting frozen. But you have to trust that, the things are happening the way that they're supposed to happen within. And you have to do that same thing for yourself. And you have to do the same thing for nature. And you have to do the same thing for the people places, things, situations that are hibernating right now and on chill because we are reaching that level of stillness. Now, that's on the northern hemisphere. When you get to the southern, they're in the summer solstice and they're waking up and they're, coming out and, all that fun stuff. So getting into Shavat, which is Aquarius energy, the month of Shavat correlates with the astrological sign of Aquarius, which is an air sign. It is the third of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Aquarius represents the left column of the 3. Aquarius is ruled by 2 planets, and traditional astrology attributes control of this month to Saturn, and modern astrology has given credit to Uranus, discovered by the astronomer William Herschel on March 13th. 1781. Saturn, the 7th planet of the solar system, is the planet of judgment, order, responsibility, discipline, and laws. Uranus is the 8th planet in the solar system, the one that breaks the proximity and limitations of 7 days, the 7th day, 7 colors, 7 notes, etc. Uranus elevates us to new consciousness and new concepts beyond limitation. This is why the age of Aquarius and the month of Aquarius are considered times of change. Both are times of new knowledge, inventions, humanity, the need to help, to understand, and to support the needy. The energy of Uranus also connects to the air element, intellectualism, innovations, and new concepts that will bring the world to a higher level of consciousness. Aquarians are rebellious by nature because they are constantly faced with penetrating questions concerning their individuality, their uniqueness, and their identity. This is the reason that they strive to break old boundaries. To Aquarians, the past is but a fleeting moment, and they disconnect from the past in order to find a fresh and unfamiliar reality, a new truth to fit the new times. Uranus orbits the sun every 84 years, which explains the common phenomenon of the midlife crisis that plagues 40 to 42-year-olds. It actually is a case of Aquarius-itis when we begin to question our life's purpose and make plans for the next 4 years or so. It's also when you have your Jupiter return and you kind of come out of your Saturn return as well, with Saturn exits out all 3 of your charts, tropical, Vedic, and Draconic, is around the 40-42. So having that big transition between 3 planets is where, like, what have I been doing with my life? That's when that stuff starts coming in. Anyway, Aquarians make excellent computer technicians, scientists, and social workers. They thrive doing anything revolutionary, especially in tasks that carry the flag of social political revolution. The age of Aquarius. Kabbalists explain that the age of Aquarius began approximately 400 years ago and is considered the age of revelation or the age of redemption. Why does Aquarius or Shavat, according to the Hebrew calendar, symbolize redemption? Because Aquarians perceive the world as unified, and Kabbalists consider this to be the basis of true redemption. Redemption is when all the negativity is cleansed, when humanity is free of evil and fragmentation. Because of their higher level of consciousness, Aquarians are directly linked to this redemptive moment. Aquarians are unique. They stand out in a crowd and cannot be ignored. They show great promise as children, and as adults, they are idealists who strive to change the universe with original ideas. They are rebels, and their concern is the well-being of humanity as a whole. They rebel against established ways of doing things, always looking to find new, better ways to solve world problems. Though Aquarians seek justice for all, this is a global quest and not a personal one. They support things that are grand and noble while they fail to be sensitive to those around them who are suffering. Aquarians often lack a sense of the practical, and they are passionately independent and private. Their desire for originality causes them to set themselves apart from the crowd. Despite their friendliness and open-mindedness, they are also the most stubborn of all signs. They reject all established structures and fight to maintain their individuality and freedom in order to exercise their innovative ideas. They detest confinement of any sort. Yet the most challenging barrier they face is most often their own egos. Even as they begin to make changes in their lives, their focus tends to be external, and they have trouble really changing from deep within. Aquarians have the power to break free from limitations of the physical world, but to manifest this power, they must control the aspects of their nature that interfere with its accomplishment. Aquarians are capable of helping humanity as long as their own ideas do not become more important than the cause itself. True spirituality means being part of humanity, not above it. Unfortunately, Aquarians usually have such high opinions of themselves that imposing their own views can become their sole objective. Aquarians must conquer their pride and realize that they have been entrusted with their attributes in order to manifest a certain force in this world. They are merely channels for this energy, and so are not entitled to personal glory. For those born under the sign of Aquarius and for those now about to become influenced by the cosmic energy of Aquarius, you can attain the consciousness of a cosmic reality and feel responsible for humanity as a whole. You can know true friendship and perhaps even universal fraternity. And Aquarians have the strength for this task from past lives. You can experience an exceptional and unique adventure in the history of humanity if you manage the most difficult restriction, silencing your ego and practicing humility and modesty while living in simplicity. And that's a good one. And it definitely resonates because I do see there being like this ideal, especially us being on social media and being so interconnected that we made the world seem even smaller in our minds. And thank you for the gifts, Goddess. And in doing that, we now have given ourselves individually like this responsibility to save the world. And it seems like we collectively have given ourselves this responsibility. And I think that the next step to individually giving us ourselves this responsibility, we're going to interconnect more better. I see this starting more so with the head. And so that's why I'd be calling out, like, you know, a lot of people that are like big on these platforms and stuff, like, y'all really need to unite. Y'all would bring a nice group of people all the way together. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we love it there. Now, during this month of January, from January 1st to the 17th, we are in the energy of the Nile when it comes to how the weeks are broken up in the Egyptian calendar. So the Nile is being intuitive, logical, peaceful, practical. I'm sorry, that's January 1st to the 7th. Being logical, peaceful, practical, influenced by passions, wise, observant, and making smart decisions. From only the first week of January are we doing that. Be very intentional with your New Year's resolutions. Peace, love, how you doing? And then when we get to the 8th, from January 8th to the 21st, we're in the energy of Amun Ra. This is the king of gods, being confident, polite, optimistic, great leaders, and great self-control is heavy here. So that's when a lot of challenges will start coming, you know, and that's the part where you really be like, you know, 20 toes down in what it is that you set out, especially during yesterday's new moon, you know, the intentions you set out. Then we enter the energy of Moot from January 22nd to the 31st. And this is being goal-oriented, protective, loving, parent, mother of the world is a heavy energy here. Sensitive, affectionate, loyal, generous, and being focused is heavy here as well. And so that's what's going on as far as the ancient Kemetic calendar goes with the different placements. And we are still kind of sort of in the energy of Aket, and that goes from September to January. And then we will be entering the energy of Peret, you know, within like the second week of January until May, which is the energy of emergence. And that's when like the flowers start blooming and all that fun stuff. Hey, Old Town. As far as us entering, well, we are in Capricorn right now. I don't have everybody up here. I don't know what their other page is, so we're not going to talk about that today. We can talk about that tomorrow then. Alright, so that's it on that level of things. And I wanted to get into this, but we can do this tomorrow too, while I'm doing the planetary forecast. Let's talk about the 2025 numbers. Let's go there. So, woosah. Yeah, let me take a breath too. Love the red on you. Thank you. This is actually purple. When I get done streaming, I will be touching up my hair. It was like layered from like dark purple, and then it comes out and it's like a light, like electric type of purple, like a fuchsia kind of situation happening. Thank you for my EBTs. Appreciate you. And so when I get off of here, I will be touching up my hair because that's fun, and doing my vision board, which is also very fun. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So let's get into it. Entering the year 9. 9 is fun. We're creating 9 with 2025, right? 2 is the number of Mayat. It's associated with Mayat. But when we get with the second Sephiro, we are in the space of wisdom, which is Jupiter, which still rules over Maya energy, which is Pisces. Before we discovered Neptune, it was Jupiter. Okay. And so when we get into the 2, we get into balance, harmony, justice, truth, and righteousness. We have 2-0, which is wisdom in our cipher. Wisdom comes from exercising your knowledge. So when we were in the 1900s, which sounds really weird to say, 1 in 9 deals with knowledge being born. So the 1900s was a big time for people getting downloads and manifesting those downloads into the physical space. A lot of inventions, a lot of infrastructure made for how our society is set up, how we operate, how our cultures are. All that stuff was 1900 stuff, right? So in this year 2-0, we are, finding balance, harmony in our space with all the things that we created in the 1900s. Okay. And that's why we speak a lot on, a lot of these inventions that they're pulling out, whatever, we've been had those. You're absolutely correct. We've been had those. It's just more so finding flow into how we do things now with that. Then we come into the next 2. So you have wisdom in your cipher and then wisdom again. So as you know, we put the wisdom out there. This is a big space for downloads and uploads. A lot of people having spiritual awakenings, people going to a lot of mediums and spiritualists and things like that, communicators, for answers and stuff. That's all to do with the wisdom in the cipher, right? So now we have wisdom, and 5 deals with Hera Kahuti. So when we were in the year of 8, we were at a 2-4, 2024, which was wisdom in our cipher, wisdom in our foundation. All those numbers dealt with Mayat, which is law, justice, truth, and righteousness, right? So now we're going from the 2024, which was, Jupiter wisdom, in our 4, which is Chesed, mercy, Mayat, where a lot of truths were coming out, right? People was telling everybody's business, right? And a lot of court cases were opened. A lot of charges were being sent out. All Mayat stuff, you know what I'm saying? You add that 2025, 24 together, it brought us to an 8. Transformations happening, rebalance of power. We was watching Pluto heavy as Pluto went back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn on the tropical chart. All right. Our mindset was going back between infrastructure and society. And so was the powers that be. Okay. So all of that was in the 8. 8 also deals with Sabet. This is the celestial technician labeling things according to Mayat, because Mayat was the breakdown, 2024. Also our wisdom. So we got a lot of intellect in the year of 7. During the year of 8, we were exercising that wisdom. A big example is a lot of these people that are leading crowds with nationalizing yourself. There was a lot of studying that these people did in the year of 7. So when the year of 8 came, they were implementing it. They were exercising it. They was, what's right, what's wrong, getting the wisdom from it. So now we're in the space of enforcing it. 5 is Hera Kahuti in the Sephiros with the Netarus, right? 5 deals with the celestial enforcer. Now we're dealing with Mars Ogun energy, enforcing that law of Mayat that we've all been experiencing in this year of 8. Every time you went out of bounds, you could have said some dope, some crazy shit, and in the same breath, stub your toe. You know what I'm saying? That's how Mayat was moving this year. So now we're in a space of it's being enforced. So a lot of these court cases that opened up, a lot of these allegations, verdicts are coming out. A lot of the things that started that created transformations in the realms of like currency, because Oya is 8, that's Scorpius energy. Oya rules over the marketplace, the elders, and the witches. So whether you're a good witch or a bad witch, Oya was moving you in alignment to Mayat. So a lot of people that was out here doing things as trends, this, that, and the third, see a lot of them running to Jesus, whatever. And then, you see a lot of them, getting outed. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of them that weren't moving correctly, or they were taking on too much because they were trying to serve 2 masters with their gift. And so, and energies take over to realign their energy, because we're energy first. This vessel is temporary. You know what I'm saying? They got their energy realigned with my yacht, whether in this life or the next. You know what I'm saying? That's how it moves. So now we're in an enforcer. So a lot of that stuff coming into close. We're coming into the year 9. 9 is Yesod in the Kabbalah. This is foundation and supreme, well, not supreme mathematics, but it's Yesod, it's your Moja. And now we're coming into the moon. We're coming into Cancer energy, giving birth in supreme mathematics. So the things that we've been working on, that's why in the beginning of this live, I was talking about 2017. 2017 was the year of 1 that's leading to this year of 9. And then yesterday when I did my stream, I even went back down to 2008. 2008 was the last year of 1 we had. We know in 2008, that's when Obama went into office. A lot of transformations happened. We were heavy in the Capricorn energy there in 2008 in that year of 1. And then by the time we got to 2016, which was the year of 9, gave birth to a lot of things. 2017, that's when we got Trump in office. That was the year of 1. We got the Pope. We got the Me Too movement. All those things. And they've been just expanding. Now we're in this year of 9. They're giving birth. Hollywood about to give birth to some crazy shit. The government is about to get birth. Currency has transformed tremendously since 2017, right? That's about to give birth to something different as well. So this year 9. So think about some things that you guys been working on since 2017. I know I've been working on this. so cross your fingers. I give birth to something dope here. Also my music. I mean, I can go down the list. I've been doing a lot of dope shit since 2017. That's when I revamped Lesnobodies to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of dope stuff for me. What's going on with y'all? I was actually born on the year 1, so we'll see. The 2026 is looking promising for your girl. But yeah, so think about that. That's why journaling is so important. You know what I'm saying? Because you can go back to your 2017 journal entries. If y'all were still following me back then, y'all would have seen my early planetary forecast back in 2017. Don't you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, the YouTube channel I had since 2017. I just peep your music, never listen to you really. Oh yeah, you should check me out. I make positive affirmation music. I'm, pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? People enjoy my stuff. I enjoy it. Picks me up. So the fact that it helps other people is like, But I'm glad that you're intrigued. Stick around. We do dope stuff here. But yeah, so this year 9 is all about giving birth. 9 also deals with Cancer energy. So paying attention to the moon, and we're going to get into that tomorrow with the planetary forecast, because the moon is doing dope shit. Between the beginning of January and then the beginning of February, it's a lot of conjunctions and things like that happening with the moon and our major planets. So we're getting a lot of that energy, like right at the bat. Starting tonight. It kind of already started since the new moon, but 9 is a good time to pay attention to that Cancer energy, that moon energy. Pay attention to the energy of your Moja. That's a big time. Cancer season is going to be a big time. The summer solstice is going to be a big flip script, because we are in the energy of 9. Also getting into Sagittarius season, because Jupiter rules over Sagittarius energy. That's going to be a big one. Pisces season is a big one too. So my Cancers, my Pisces, and my Sagittarians, this is a big energy for y'all. Those seasons are going to be big seasons for other people. So I suggest y'all find where those placements are in your chart, what houses those energies rule over in your chart, because that'll show you where the big flip can be at for you. I would enter the building when you speak on the waters. Of course you would. This is a big year for you, Mr. 9. And not only is it a big year for you on the 9, it's also a big year for you on the 6 too, because the snake is the 6th sign in the zodiac. So you got your 6 and 9 this year, buddy. I hope you enjoy that. I'm sure you will. So yeah, that's all in the year of 9. This is the year of the celestial enforcer. This is Hera Kahuti energy, and learning how to harmonize our internal laws into these spaces. A lot of tribal building should be built here. I don't understand why we're still doing the lone wolf shit. It's like we're still sitting in the year of 7 for some reason. Maybe some of you guys are using calendars that put you in the year of 7. But when being in the year of Aquarius and being like, according to the Kabbalah, being 400 comfortable years into the energy of Aquarius, having Pluto bringing power to Aquarius energy, now that Pluto's in the tropical chart of Aquarius, it's still in Capricorn Vedic, so it's still providing transformations in our events of the infrastructure. So you still have opportunity to empower yourself over your root chakra from a physical and non-physical standpoint. So this is a great time to be more we and less me. So tribal building, I would totally enforce that. But enforce it in alignment with your internal law. I don't suggest you guys go tribal building with people you have to adjust or compromise your internal law with, because there's somebody for all of y'all. And then teaching y'all my diabolical plan, you create your own united situation, because this is the year of snake. And if you guys remember, when the 13 colonies were first created, they were symbolized by a snake that was cut into 14 pieces. 14 pieces of a star, 14 stars in Orion's belt, 14 pyramids, right? 14 is a number here, you know what I'm saying? So we got 14 day and night in a week, right? Because you get 12 hours of sunrise, 12 hours of sunset on a 7-day span. That's 14. So we have a lot of 14 energy. Brings you back to 5, the celestial enforcer. So with that being said, 14 tribes is really dope. Get at least 14 on your belt. But yeah, this is not a time for division. That was like their join or die symbol or whatever. There may be a period of time where we go back to that image, but we have to pull ourselves out of that image. You know what I'm saying? It is time for, and then stop biting the tail. Do something different. But that is entering the year of 9. So now getting into the actual months, when we get into January is the year of 1. And so this is a pattern here. So whatever month we're in, we usually end up in that overall energy, which, you guys know the magic of adding 9s, right? So when we enter the year of 1, we enter the month of 1, we're at 1-9. Right? And that comes together makes 10. So this month is a big month for giving birth, because 10 deals with Makuf, that's earth. So we're aligning our 1, which is our ketters, our thoughts, into our 10, which is Makuf, which is bringing it to the earthly realm. This is an alignment between being rooted upward and bringing it to the physical realm. Manifesting is big here. Please pay attention to the moon. The moon is doing dope shit, y'all. This overall is going to be a big energy for my 1 life pathers, my people born on a day of 1s. Like 1 and 10. So those are the ones. Also, 2 and 8 is a big one too. Hey, Empress, how you doing, goddess? So one's during January. Now, when we're dealing with the number 1, this is where all this comes into place. We're dealing with the letters A, J, and S. So things in alignment with those letterings, maybe some names coming up in that space and time. Those are the letters. Now, thank you to Uriel, because he gave me some notes on this. The A is fire, so taking action is heavy here. Then we get into the letter J, which is air. We get into thoughts here. Well, no, J is water, so we get into our emotions here. And S is air. So we have fire, water, air in this space. Those are the 3 elements. So wherever those fire, water, air, the month of 1 is for you. Okay? Also, in the month of 1, we have Jupiter still in retrograde. Jupiter is going to be in retrograde till February 4th. It's going to stop at 11 degrees Gemini, mastery in the community, communication. Then we also have, what is that? Uranus. Uranus is still in retrograde. It'll be in retrograde to the 30th. And it'll stop at 23 degrees Taurus. So still providing progressive pushes in our monetary realm. Uranus is actually going to make its transition into Gemini in July. So that's going to be interesting because Uranus made such a big transition when it entered Taurus energy. You figure Uranus entered Taurus like around 2018, 2019. That whatever month that was that we went into quarantine and they started sending out the unemployment checks and the loans, that was the same month that Uranus went into Taurus. So like crazy things when Uranus enters Gemini when it comes to community and communication, a big boom in how we talk to each other, how connected we are, whether from the spiritual realm and you guys want to do it telepathically, or if you want to go to AI route, a big boom in that telecommunications is happening in that space. And that is for the month of 1. Now, when we get into the month of 2, we have 2 and 9. You know what I'm saying? Now we're finding the balance and the harmony, the justice. Now we're exercising and finding the wisdom and what we're giving birth to. This month adds up to 11. So mastery, mastering what it is that you manifest in the month of 1 is heavy. 11, February is a great day. 11 is a great month for my masteries. So in February, that's a great day for my 11s and my 22s and my 33s, wherever that is in your space, okay? It is a master month. Also for my 2s, this is a good month for you guys too. You know, focusing on your interpersonal relationships, your bonds and contracts, and your emotions are heavy here. And for the number 2, the letters B, K, and T are big here. Now, B is fire, so we're still in that taking action. K is water, so we're still in that motion. And T is earth. So we skip the air. So when we get in February, we're on fire, water, and earth. All right, when we get into that mastery, and those are the elements of that energy. And like I said, that is when Jupiter goes prograde in February as well. So we'll start getting our abundance coming to us heavy. Woo, that's gonna be a good time. And yeah, that's what we got going on over there. We also have Lilith entering Libra constellation. So this is on the Vedic chart. That's going to be happening on the 3rd of February. Lilith is the primordial goddess, bringing us back to our internal selves at our most comfortable self. Find out where Lilith is. This is like when you see other people exercise this, it triggers you, but then, these are things about yourself that you repress. So a lot of like repressed energy coming out, repressed memories, all that fun stuff, and finding, truth in it and speaking on it. So a lot more dirt coming out in February, y'all. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But that puts a lot of people that haven't been in alignment with Mayat. Now they have to master the truths that are coming out. And, that's going to realign them. That should be the lessons that they need, we hope. How many times y'all got to get smacked on the hand to figure it out? We don't know. So then we get to the month of 3, right? The month of 3, now we got 3 and 9. So now we're in a space of creation and understanding, where now we're standing under, we have the results, whatever, what have you, of what we've given birth to, right? So the 3 and 9 come together and make it 1 and 2. So the month of March gives you an opportunity to go backward and revisit some things. Revisit some things that you did during the month of 1 and the month of 2, as far as learning and finding wisdom or exercising what you learn, so that you can stand under it, you could express, you can create with it. And overall, it is a space of 3. So this is a great day for March. Is a great month for my 3 life pathers. That month is for you guys. For people that need to get more aligned with the 3, you guys might have difficulties. To my 4s, my 7s, my 8s, y'all can get so caught up in business that y'all forget to feel things and work on your sympathy. It can be an overindulgence for my 3s and my 6s with y'all emotions. 5s, please learn how to find some stability and just ground yourself a little bit here. Now, as far as the number 3, it's associated with the letters C, L, and U. So C is fire, so we still taking action. We still on the move, y'all. L is when we get into water. So we're back in the waters now. So not only are we going to act, we're also going to be in our intuitive self. We're going to feel. And then we get into earth. So then we're going to, solidify and manifest things in that month of 3. Creation, being, understanding, challenges. Okay, be ready for it. We also will be experiencing, that looks like Mars retrograde during the month of 3. Mars retrograde during the month of 3. That was from 12/6 to 2/24. Yeah. Oh, Venus retrograde is in Aries, and that starts on March 2nd to April 13th. And that's starting in Aries and it's ending in Pisces, Venus retrograde. So our heart chakra going from new beginnings, being more methodical in our priorities, what we value, business, wealth. So really planning things out in the year 3. In the month of March, being methodical about the things. And then Venus is Pisces. We ended on a Pisces space and we'll go back forward in Pisces. So that'll come back to like dreaming, attracting, going back into the spiritual practices after you get done taking that action with Venus in those first 10 degrees Aries. So give yourself, grace to go back and forth between moving and resting in the month of the end of March. I mean, the beginning of March to mid-April. All right. So that's that for there. Also in March, we have Lilith entering the Scorpio zodiac. So in our thought process, while Lilith is in Libra constellation, it'll be in our transformations and empowerment in our thoughts. And then we will also have Neptune entering Aries zodiac on the 31st of March, which is going to be really interesting, having Neptune, which rules over the subconscious, the dreams, hidden agendas, Akashic records, being in such a warlike, get it done energy. Like Aries is the new beginnings. Aries is fire. It's not nothing to be scared of, but it's just like, ending things in fire is very harsh. So a lot of like dreams and delusions and stuff is going to be like a very harsh reality to like what's really going on for a lot of people. And then again, like I said, a good time to plan out your goals, especially in the year of the snake. Being methodical is very heavy this year, all right? Planning things out, very heavy this year. I highly suggest getting into Metu Netter. I feel like the book club read that book like right on time, because Metu Netter Volume 1 gets heavy into the importance and the process of planning out your manifestations. From the hikals to the visualizations to the stance, all of that is even in the season to do it. Like, it's all in there. So I would highly suggest y'all getting into Metu Netter. Even if you gotta listen to the audio book, do your thing. Saturn enters the Pisces constellation on March 30th. So not only do we have Libra making a big Neptune making a big transit, we also have Saturn, which is, the planet of challenges. And it's challenging those dreams and those secrets, as Neptune is giving you new beginnings. So I see like a heavy like hammer being brought down through people of authority when it comes to the reality we thought we lived in. It's going to be pretty heavy, y'all. Lilith enters Draconic Scorpio. So we'll have Lilith and Scorpio on the, what is that? On the tropical and draconic chart, even though it'll still be in Libra on the Vedic chart. All right, so the thoughts and the spiritual experience will be in alignment. What else? Uranus entering back into Taurus on March 19th. And yeah, that's it for there. So that's all March. That's all in the threes. A lot of challenges coming. Just being mindful of what you stand under and the challenges coming to your space, right? All right, so then we get into 4. So 4 is April. 4 is all about being stable, being reliable. Slow and steady is heavy here because 4 is the heaviest number. It's the fixed number in between the masculine side of numbers. 4 is also associated with Taurus energy being super fixed, right? When we get to the 4th house, we're talking about Cancer energy. Now we get into, the armor around the crab with the claws and all those things to hide, the soft and gushy, the nurturing and all that inside, right? But yeah, 4 is a heavy number of stability, leadership, being reliable, being dependable. Just be mindful of separating yourself too much from the crowd because you are the reliable one or the dependable one. Because what that means is you're not accepting what other people have to offer you. It's not exactly what you have to offer, and it's not supposed to be. We're supposed to be puzzle pieces. No two puzzle pieces are alike. That's how they fit into each other. They're not supposed to be the same, but they make a bigger picture. So start seeing the bigger picture and start accepting other pieces. And it's not just about your piece. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about your piece being the best piece, because when all the puzzles come together, all the pieces are the best piece. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to take away from you being the best piece. Yeah. Doesn't make sense, because I know people be like, no, I'll disappear, especially my summer babies. I'll disappear. You will not disappear, I promise. Because if you go missing out of if you go missing out of the full picture, people will notice that puzzle piece is missing. So don't ever think. It's a very important piece. Okay, so that's what 4 is all about. You know what I'm saying? 4 is associated with the letters D and V, the one place nobody wants to be. And D again deals with fire. We're taking action again here. We're going to take action until we get up to the letter G. So just be prepared. Like, action is that we moving. When we get to the letter M, we are in water, so we're going to be feeling, tapping into our intuition, our emotions. It slows down the fire a little bit, so don't get too caught up on yourself. And then earth, we're gonna We're going to earth it out on the V. So, what you take action on in this space too, also giving birth to. As far as the retrogrades though, we do have Mercury going retrograde. That starts, did I speak on that already? But that starts on March 5th and it ends on April 7th. And Mercury is going to go in retrograde in Aries. So new beginnings in our invocation space, home and family, daily routine, health and fitness, all those things happening there during that month of 4. Stabilize yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? What it is you move towards. We're coming into spring. That's like New Year's time. You know what I'm saying? So some of you guys hold off on your New Year's resolutions, and when you feel like, working out and getting a new diet, a lot of people start fasting. It's like, coming out of Ramadan, starting new habits around this time too. So, Mercury going to retrograde, it'll be slowed down for you guys to catch up and start implementing those things into your space. And like I said, it ends off in Pisces. So we go back into that, going inward and, back to communicating with spirit and all those things. And so, it's a nice connection between Mercury and Venus retrograde happening between March and April. All right. I think they're about like 7 days apart from each other in a sense. And then we also have in April. That's pretty much it. That's what I got for you in April. That's what I got with you on the 4. The 4 adds up to 9 and it makes 13, which is a karmic debt number, which is like learning how to stand under yourself, what you think. You know what I'm saying? Because 1 is the ketters. 1 is also action, Ogun. It's the gut that controls the mind, and everything starts with the thought, right? 3 is understanding and expression, the challenges that come into our space. Taking action towards your challenges, taking action towards what you stand under, because you did the research, you exercised the research and got the results. Now start living it in your life. If you know better, do better. And it's called a karmic debt number because there's a lot of fear implemented in doing that. Well, going against the grain. We had a lunar calendar. We had to fight to secretly do our lunar calendar, you know what I'm saying? When the Julian calendar was all about the sun, and we had the Civil War, and that was the sun versus the moon, and the matriarch versus the patriarch energy, all that stuff, right? So, we have all of that. March 21st is Aries, which represents by the first house, Taurus too. Yeah. I know. The houses. We're getting into the numerology of the month. But yeah, 1 is Aries. That's Ogun. That's the gut that controls the mind. 1 also deals with Ketters and the Kabbalah. And that's when you get into Aquarius energy. And that's the downloads. That's the knowledge and the supreme mathematics. Thank you, Tevin. I appreciate you. And then 3 is what you stand under. That's the Saturn. That's the challenges. So, we had the moon come in 13 phases. All that stuff came about making 13, Friday the 13th, unlucky day, because that's when we get slaughtered for celebrating the moon. You know what I'm saying? Because the moon has 13 phases. So, there's that whole thing, that whole fight against going inward and tapping into your own feminine energy and tapping into your own internal God in a world that wants you to stay outward. We want you to stay on your knees at our pulpit. We want you to stay reading our books and having our teachers, and everything is outside of yourself. We've been taught beauty is outside of yourself. Love is outside of yourself. God is outside of yourself. The universe is outside of yourself. Like, to the fact that like the planets are outside of our planet, like, just all these different things, instead of seeing like, yo, we're really experiencing ourselves, and we're low key, upside down. If you look at it, if the sun is like the center of the earth, and we're cooling down, and that's cooling down. And I got my theories. They feel good to me. I'll share with those with you guys on another day. But yeah, so that's what we have on the 4. Again, like I said, it all adds up back up to 4. So my 4 life pathers, April is a good month for y'all. For my 1s, 4s, and 7s, you guys are definitely going to benefit in the month of April being a leader. Remember, you're supposed to be a leader of the collective. This energy is Aquarian energy. You know what I'm saying? This is all about the we. And 9 is Sagittarius energy. That's the philanthropist. That's the utopia. There has to be a we in that. You know what I'm saying? So 4 is good for my 1, 4s, and 7s to stand on your ground, take on your leadership roles, get things in order and organized, provide stability and structure, stand on your post for the people that will be coming in and they need structure and they need, instruction. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good time there. It might be a difficult space for my 3s and 6s because it's going to call on you guys to tighten up, you know what I'm saying, as Taurus energy does. And so, be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we get to the month of 5, now we're in Hera Now we're in the enforcer, the celestial enforcer of what we got going on, what we're trying to convey, that internal law that we got from 4, which is, 4 is also Chesed, which is Mayat. That's when we get into the internal law too. So when we get into 5, we start enforcing that internal law. 5 also deals with Leo energy, as Leo rules over the 5th house. Now we're on the other side of the fire, being confident and courageous. To get to the gods, you got to go through the sun, and the sun rules the Tepereth, okay? When we say things with all thy mind and thy heart, let it be. You know what I'm saying? So that is the 5, okay? 5 in the letter world deals with E and W, which if you move those around, it spells new, and that's fun. So the E is fire, so we're still in that space of creation. Hey, so we're still in that space of taking action, taking initiative. The letter N, it brings us to air. So now we're in thoughts. So now we're fired up in our thoughts. And then W is earth. So we're, bringing it down into the earthly realm with our actions and our thoughts combined. So that is the energy of the 5. Now, when 5 and 9 come together, they bring 1 and 4. So now you have your intellect of how you spent the last month. And that's what you're enforcing. And hopefully, as you go through this space, you'll see the pattern with the 9s. You know how we went from 11, which now you get to go back on the month of 1 and implement that. But you had the 12, where you got to go back on the month of 2 and think about it and implement it. Then we had the month of 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now being in this month of 5, we get to look back on the month of 4, gain our intellect, our knowledge, also take action on the 1 and 4, and that brings us to 5, which is our enforcer as we implement that. Okay. As far as what's happening astronomically, we do have, I want to say that's Pluto. Yeah, Pluto's retrograde begins on May 4th, and that's going on until October 14th. And so we start at a 3 degree in Aquarius. We're not leaving Aquarius anymore. It's okay. We're going to end at 1 degree Aquarius. So we're going back the first 3 degrees of Aquarius with that Pluto retrograde. So a lot of things that we experienced from the month of 1 to the month of 4, we're going to go back and do it again in the transformation route. Make sure we left no stone unturned in our society of things. Okay. What else do we have going on? Gemini. Jupiter is going to enter the Gemini constellation on May 15th. So now we have that planet of abundance actually creating events in our community and how we communicate with each other. We have also, what is that? Saturn is going to be entering the Draconic Aries energy. So new beginnings on the soul experience of challenges in the root chakra of the soul, which I talked about in a few lives ago when I talked about, like, you see how the transformations are happening in the infrastructure on our society, like, who controls the money, what is the money like, how are we valuing the money. You see, as more of us wake up, we realize that the Federal Reserve is really like a private entity, and we're starting to value it less because we're valuing consumerism and all that stuff less, as we empower ourselves more to be private and do all the things that we're watching other people who have been empowered do. So we see that swing on the pendulum, right? So you going to experience that on a spiritual level as well, with Saturn creating those new beginnings there. And in that live that I did, I talked about how that's also happening in the spiritual realm too. The pendulum is also swinging in the non-physical realm. We are going to lose, not unfortunately, because it's not a bad thing, but it's just like the only definite thing in this world is death. You know what I'm saying? And people don't really like talk about it too much. Got to the point where we got to talk about it in weird words on these platforms and stuff if we want to be seen and stuff like that. And it's like the one thing that we won't accept, but it's the only thing that we know for certain is going to happen. And it's not even real, for real, like a DEATH. It's a rebirth. It's a transformation. So, with that being said, a lot of people that are very strong spiritually over here will probably ascend to the next realm to do work over there, because the pendulum of infrastructure is swinging over there in the same manner as swinging over here. A lot of people have been doing their magic, their evil practices, their rituals, their seances and stuff, and it hasn't been in line with Maya. And we talked about the year 2000 already. Wisdom in our cipher, 2 is Maya, and now we are in the 2020 years. You know, from 2020 to 2029, we are heavy in Maya energy, right? So being in this space or whatever, you know, you'll see, you know, a lot of that coming out. You know, these people have been doing these wicked things. Well, that's what's also happening in the spiritual realm. A lot of the energy that these people have been channeling have been responding, and now it's coming out that they've been helping the wicked things happen. So now it's like they're having their court dates, and this person was helping this person was letting such and such do a seance, and this person wasn't being a good spirit guide, and this person was not being a good guardian angel, and like, so all that's happening over there. So while that's happening over there and people are getting, you know, energy is being condemned over there, some of this energy has to go over there to take the place of the righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody? Because that was a big one. That was a big one. And so, like, when there's a lot influx of death doulas, I definitely want to move in that realm of getting more into the depth of things with you guys. But that influx is important because it's important how we send this energy off. All right. So being mindful of that. Anywho, may Pluto going in retrograde assist in those matters, right? In the 5. So, okay, I did 5. So now we're in June. 6, 6, 9. It's Cancer energy. 6, 9. Hey, look at, see you over there, Adonis. All right, so 6 deals with Tippereth. This is, you know, the sun. This is the Leo energy. This is the confidence and the courageousness, the creativity, the inner thespian, all of that. That is the 6. 6th house deals with Virgo energy. This is paying attention to the details of things. This is self-management, organization, being judgmental. You could be an overthinker and over-analytical, but, you know, the goal is to find balance in all these signs, right? Also focusing on your daily routine, your health and wellness is heavy energy here too. Okay, so we have the 6 and 9, finding that balance between the physical, because 6 is harvest, and the non-physical, 9, which is your Yesod, Cancer energy, the divine womb. So having that, the capacity to be able to flip between the 6 and 9 is heavy in June, okay? So for my medium and my people that can manifest, my channelers and all that, it's a great space for you guys. 6 and 9, of course. Ooh, it's storming outside. They not, see, I told y'all, we want to start early. The energy is starting early. 2025 is not nothing to play with. And it's crazy because I was outside praying and I was just saying all the things. And once I got done and I took my last breath, it started drizzling. And like, it was the sky was weird. It was weird looking because we've been having this cloak across the sky lately, and it was, you know, it's just like a weird contrast between the cloak pollution and the blue that was trying to fight behind it. And it kind of like started moving in a weird way, but then it started drizzling. I was like, okay, I think that's my confirmation. And then when I said thank you, the drizzle stopped, and I was like, let me go in the house. And now I hear all the thunder and stuff. But that's my little moment for the day. Let's get back into June. So June is the 6-9. That's bringing us to 1 and 5. So now we're having knowledge of the month of 5 that we just experienced, how we were enforcing those things, how we were tapped into that 5th house Leo energy, how we were tapped into the 5 of Netzach. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to do the Sephiros. The Netzach, which is victory. This is the celestial designers in the Sephiros. Heru. Not Heru. Well, Heru in the house because Heru is Leo, but Het Heru, which is Venusian energy, making things pretty. So now we have all that intellect of us enforcing, us making things pretty and all that fun stuff, right? So now we're implementing things into our 6. Health, wellness, daily routine, Tippereth, Leo energy, you know, our hearts, our emotions, our feelings is heavy here. How do you feel? Are you being intuitive with how you feel? Are you manifesting those things into reality? Now, on a letter level, 6 deals with Fox, F-O-X. Jamie Foxx might do some weird shit. But this is F-O-X. F-O-X is fire, so we're still in movement. O is air, so we're still in, so we have that thought, that intuition energy. And X is earth, so, you know, bringing it down, you know, solidifying it down into the earthly realm is heavy here for the Fox. So in the space of 6, while we utilize the knowledge of what we've been enforcing and we implement it in our moral integral code, health, wellness, daily routine, and all that fun stuff, we still have Pluto going in retrograde. We don't have any new retrograde starting in this period of time. We just have Pluto still going. Then when we get into the month of 7, that's when we have a couple more planets that join Pluto. I'll be right back. Hope you're not gone by the time I get back. Okay, I might be here. I still got a little bit more to go. I'm in the month of 7. So 7, it deals with Libra house. Now we're getting into the balance of law, truth, justice, and righteousness. These are the Oba scales. You know what I'm saying? These are the scales that Babylon walks around with, and make sure your heart is light as a feather when we get to the 7. 7 is going inward and dealing with your spiritual self, learning about it. You know what I'm saying? Getting comfortable with it. It's fun here. We love it. 7 is the number of perfection. This is the number associated with God in the supreme mathematics for a reason, because it's all about going inward. And what is inward? God. Oh, look at that. So we take that 7. 7 also makes you want to pay attention to your bonds and contracts. Interpersonal relationships is a heavy energy here. Hey, Justin. So, that's all in the 7. So we have 7 and 9. Giving birth to how balanced you are. So when we're in July, wherever you are in alignment with my God, that is the reality that you're going to attract. Wherever you are in your spiritual experience and how comfortable you are in your spiritual self and following your spiritual purpose and all that stuff, guess what? All of that is in alignment with what you're going to experience in your reality, what you're giving birth to. I don't know why. Maybe it's somebody that came in. Womb health is heavy for you. During this month of July, you might have some issues with your womb, with your reproductive organs. Go get tested in July. Don't know why I had to say that, but one of y'all, go get tested in July. And so when we have that 7 and that 9 together, finding that balance and giving birth to our reality, it brings us to 1 and 6. So now we have the knowledge of how we spent the month of 6, that Virgo, Tippereth energy, that Hebrew, and we're bringing that into our 7, which is Natal. Now we're in Venusian vibes. We're the celestial designers making things all pretty, and this is Libra scales and all that fun stuff. So now we get to have a little bit of joy because we've been managing ourselves and we've been putting things in our routine. So a lot of seeds that we've been planting is going to come to birth in July. July 25th is a New Year's in certain cultures. So that might be like a burst for some of you guys, July 25th. 7, life path number. July is for you. Love it there. You know what I'm saying? This could be a cool space for my 6 life pathers too. If you guys are really like flowed up into the knowledge, like the month of 6 is good for you, but coming into a 1 and 6 that makes the 7 will be even better for my 6s because you guys are so thoughtful. But 7 is a good month. It might be a time where like usually we would go outward, we want to go inward. Check up on an introvert during July. Pull somebody outside. 1, 4s, and 7s will flourish during July, definitely. As far as the 7 goes and the numbers, we're in GPY. I don't know when I thought of GPY. I thought of the Japan yen and the British pound and Forex or wherever y'all want to invest into that. Great Britain and Japan came to my mind immediately when I think of like those 7 numbers. And so G, of course, is still fire. So we still activating, we still in action, we still moving things. The letter P is in air, so still being in thought in your intellectual self, and Y is earth. So, using those 2 energies to, bring things into fruition. Hey, Tamala, peace. Those are the 3 elements during the month of 7, where those elements lie in your personal chart or whatever, you can get in alignment with that. Also during the month of 7, we have another Mercury retrograde from July 18th to August 11th. We have Mercury going from 15 degrees in Leo, in that 1 and 5, the knowledge of the enforcer, and then ending at 4-degree Leo, finding that stability, and that Leo energy is heavy there with that Mercury, whatever. So having that confidence and courageousness as you speak things into existence, you'll be able to retract some things during that Leo season. So people that you were supposed to cut off and you're not cutting off, they're going to pop back up. You're going to be tested in that month of July. You're going to be tested to redo some things that you should have been confident enough to walk away from. It's going to be enticing to come back again. Empower yourself with that Leo that Mercury is in. We'll also have Saturn beginning its retrograde. We'll have Saturn in retrograde from July 13th to November 28th. So it's rest of the year, kind of, sort of. Retrograde is going from 1 degree Aries, so taking that cardinal energy of Saturn, new beginnings on our infrastructure and things, and rewinding us back to the delusion that we was living in to 25 degrees Pisces, and creating more challenges there. So like in my mind, I'm thinking about the equal opposite energy, creating new laws and structure and like that war type energy. And then you know how every time they try to go nuclear, there's entities that come down and make them reverse. That's what that sounds like to me with Saturn going from Aries to Pisces. I, for one, cannot wait for Saturn to get out of Pisces because that is in my Draconic chart and I'm ready for my Saturn return to be over. But I get it. I'm supposed to be here for a few more degrees. One more year. We also have Neptune going in retrograde in July. How you doing, Tamala? Peace to the goddess. Neptune is going in retrograde from July 4th to December 10th. So that's kind of like the rest of the year type of retrograde. And it's going from 2 degrees Aries, so find that balance and harmony in the new beginnings, back to 29 degrees Pisces, which is a number of mastery, 219, once you find balance on what you're giving birth to. And that's happening in December. And then we'll have it entering Aries back again in like January, at the end of January-ish. And probably by next year, Neptune will probably be settled in Aries energy. Or it might retrograde back to like a 29.9 degree or whatever, but yeah. And then we also have Chiron going in retrograde. Chiron is an asteroid that touches on our wounds and helps us transmute our wounds into strengths, right? And that retrograde is happening in Aries at 27 degree, finding balance and harmony and that perfection of self. And that's happening on July 30th. And that's going on till January 2nd, 2026, when we enter that year of one, which will also be the year of the horse, And it's going to stop at 22 degrees Aries. So learning how to master the new beginnings happening to our wounds as a collective. A lot of our wounds as a collective are more economic and racial and real slavey. Like we got to find new beginnings to that energy, especially with Chiron being so close to our North Node. Like we're moving an empowerment to the wounds that we have. And we can't, if we're going to do that, we can't keep holding them as a wound. We have to strengthen ourselves with this energy. It can't keep peeing like sad songs. Oh my God, I'm turning 25 in that month. Oh, yay. Oh, you're divine alignment. 25 on the 25. Yay. I love that. So that's that on the 7th. What else? I think that was it on the 7th. We have Uranus entering the Gemini zodiac, so providing progressive pushes to how we think about communicating with our community is a big one there. Uranus ain't never play about us. Uranus also enters the Draconic Gemini on July 8th, so the Draconic and zodiac energy will be in alignment in Taurus. And then in Gemini. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Taurus. It would be aligned in Gemini for Uranus. And that's it for July. Now, let's get into 8, the month of 8. This is the month of transformation and Sebek. And we might get a nice, like, wowzer, like, remember what we did in the month of 8? It might be like a big bang for us. Especially people that have been using the mathematics of the 8 to make big things. 8 is Scorpio season just never played about us. Scorpio season can be so dramatic. Sometimes I gotta be like, oh yeah, can we chill for a second? Like, you be going in sometimes. Let's talk about it. But we don't have to talk about it. But like, if you want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it. So, 8 is that energy of Sebek. This is the celestial technicians. This is how we label things in our space. 8 is like building and destruction in supreme mathematics. This is Had in the Kabbalah. This is, high highs make low lows. The thing with Scorpio energy is to be the homeostasis in the middle. I said this like all year long. So, we're going to keep practicing it. And when we put the 8 to the 9, it's like, how balanced are we on these transformations? How balanced are we in the things that are being birthed and destroyed in our space? How empowered are we? How powerful you feel and how confident you feel in your power is going to determine what you give birth to in year 9. In that month of 8. That 8 and 9 come together and make 1 and 7. So now we're getting our intellect of how we spent the previous month in the month of 7. And we're also taking action on it, as 1 is not only the Ketters of Aquarius giving us that intellect, 1 is also Ogun, Aries energy, acting on things, as Aries rules the first house. So, gut controls the mind as Aries controls the gut. So the gut controls the mind. So that's the divine connection between Aries and the Ketters. All right. So you have that acting out on the month of 7 too, which is going to bring transformations in your space. Not only am I thinking about what I did in the month of 7, I'm also acting out what I did in the month of 7, and being methodical about how I acted out, because Aries isn't a mindless militant. Aries energy is the intelligent marine, okay? Um, and that's going to bring transformations in my space. That's going to bring me empowerment. We want that, right? Eight, Oya rules over the marketplace, the elders, and the witches as well, which is a heavy energy. 8 in the letters is HQZ. All right, Hayes energy. So when we deal with the letter H, we're dealing with water. So now we're starting with our emotions. We're starting with our intuition space, which makes sense because 8 is Scorpius energy, and we know we're beneath the horizon when we get to Libra. So we done went down on the horizon. We're in the nighttime. We're in the nighttime placements. We're energy of autumn. We're bringing things to a close, right? So we're going to start off with our emotions in H. Then we're going to get to Q, which is air. So we got the intellect and we got the intuition. A lot of communication. The veil is very thin. Things we already know, but I'm just communicating them so you can see how they're in divine alignment with numerology and astrology. Regardless of how we change the calendars, we cannot escape the energy that is bigger than us. A lot of, people try to divert us away from nature and away from the stars and away from the energies that are bigger than us, but all they did was keep us in alignment. Like, it never wins, you know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys are seeing the pattern, because that's what I'm really trying to show you, because I know I'm saying a lot of stuff that you're like, duh. I know, duh. Now look at it like this. Right? Isn't it duh? But yeah, so we start with the water, with the intuition, then we get into air. So like that communication between the physical and the non-physical realm is heavy here. And then the letter Z is kind of like not really on this chart for real. It's out there. Now we get into like the above and beyond, okay? But the letter Z is like above and beyond. It's like an extra letter. Oh, we don't really, do too much with that one. But that's when we get into like the next like self, like the next sephirot of self or whatever. So that's on the 8th. 8 is heavy on business. So start planning and organizing your business. Libra, we were in the equinox. We were setting our seeds. We were letting the Libra air blow our seeds. Water in Scorpio is when we water our seeds. This is the time to start outlining your business, especially when we enter the year of 1, where some of you guys are going to have to start your lessons, the same lessons all over again. Some of you guys get an opportunity to do new rituals and go through new things for the next 9 cycle. Okay. So keeping that in mind, paying attention to the contracts, directing your thoughts and feelings. This is also a good period of time for my 2s and 5 life pathers. Not just life pathers, but if you're born on a day that adds up to 2, 5, or 8, like, the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, or with 5, it's 5, it's 14, it's 23. With 8, it's 8, it's 17, and it's 26. Yeah. So those are the days. Like if you're born on those days, or if you're these life path numbers, this is a good time for you guys here. This is like divine feminine energy and really being tapped into your intuitive space. Okay. But the dark feminine energy, we're not in the lightness of things. Okay. So that's the 8. Now we get into the month of 9. 9 is when we get into actually giving birth, because now we're on the 9-9, right? Yeah, we're in September, the harvest season. We're on the 9-9. So that's like, so September is going to be a really good time to like manifest things in your space, because that is when the equinox happens. Okay, so 8 is like Lionsgate manifesting. Carry that shit out into the equinox. That's a good ritual, especially to begin the year one way. For those of you guys who are going to be doing like brand new things, that's a good space. Of course, 9 is a good number for Sagittarius, because Sagittarius rules over the 9th house. So now we're still in the darkness with the numbers, even though we're in the summertime, but the sun is starting to set as we get into the equinox between 9 and 10 as far as nature goes. But coming back to the 9. So we're in the space of harvest. We're in the space of giving birth. Paying attention to the moon is heavy on the 9s, because that is Yasad. That is the foundation of things. We're bringing things to fruition, wholeness, utopic energy, The mindfulness, as Jupiter Sagittarius rule over the mindset and how you think. School's in session, right? Controlling the minds in the month of 9. 9 and 9 come together and make 1 and 8. So now you're going to look back on everything you did during the month of 8, that month of transformation and building on things. That month of 8 is also good. Like if you have a business, like you start closing up your business or slowing down your business in the month of 8. I know like people still be going ham with shopping during October and for the Christmas months and stuff like that. But start like shaping your plan in that month of 8 to how is my business going to survive in the winter? And that's when you start canning. Yeah. And so when we come into the month of 9, it's kind of like still harvesting in that momentum. That 1 and 8. With the 9 and 9 coming together. So having knowledge on how to do the things in the 8, acting on what you were thinking about in the month of 8, bringing us to 9, still coming into that. So you basically experience 3 9s. Got the month of 9, the year of 9, come together, make 1 and 8, but then it brings you back into 9. So I would say very much be careful of your throat chakra during September this year. This is a great day for my year of 9s. My 9 life path, there's people born on the day of 9. The number 9 deals with the letters I and R. I is dealing with water, so we're still in the emotional, we're still in the intuitive, the spiritual realm of things. The letter R is dealing with air and thought. So the combination of spirituality and thought is heavy here. My water and air signs, this is a good space for you guys during the month of September. Of course, my Sagittarius on the 9. And then, of course, Yesod, pay attention to the moon during the month of 9. Now, as far as the retrogrades go, we still have Saturn in retrograde. We have Uranus starting a retrograde from September 6th to February 4th. And that's going from Gemini back down to Taurus on the 27th degree of Taurus. So we have the Uranus retrograde beginning, moving us from progressive approaches on our community and communication back to progressive pushes in our wealth and our value and business. What we prioritize. Then we have Neptune still in retrograde. Remember that's happening all the way to December. We have Pluto still in retrograde. Pluto will be in retrograde until October 14th. And then we still have Chiron in retrograde because that retrograde is happening all the way up to January 2nd. So we're kind of like in, we got a few big planets in retrograde slowing down during the month of 9 for us while we manifest things. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. So now let's get into the month of 10. This is the month of Malkuth. This is Earth. This is Jeb energy. Now we're really like solidifying these things. Because now we have the Ketters. This is, intellect, knowledge, download. 0 is our cipher, which is in divine alignment with Libra energy, which deals with air, the air in between our interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts, that energy exchange, making sure that your heart is light as a feather. Feather, also air, mayat, keeping your heart as light as, the law tells you to keep, because there's no room for God in a callous heart. You are God. There is no room for you in your callous heart, because you don't get a chance to do everything that you were purposed to do if you're moving with a callous, if you're moving in pain or anger or whatever, right? So that's all in the 10. So not only is in alignment with the astrological, aligned with the numerological, right? So we have this knowledge in our cipher. Everything is non-physical when we're in Libra. You know what I'm saying? Now we're getting to the horizon, and then we're starting to come into the nighttime zodiacs, okay? When we go from Libra to Scorpio, Sagittarius, now, we're going from autumn, making our way to wintertime, right? So we have this knowledge in our cipher. We have this non-physical energy. We're going to put that into the year of 9. So now we have 1 and 9, knowledge being born, and the equinox. The last couple Libra seasons we had eclipses during those times too. Are we going to have eclipses this year on the northern hemisphere? I'll tell y'all tomorrow during the planetary forecast. I got some homework to do. I finished majority of my notes, but now that I've asked this question, I got y'all tomorrow. But yeah, so now you have knowledge being born. Now you're really planting those seeds in alignment to how I talked about during the month of 8. You know what I'm saying? So now we're coming to, again, coming back to Jeb, because once you add the 1 and 9 together, it comes back to 10 overall. Now we're back in the month of 1. So a lot of things that we did in January, when we set our intentions and woo-wop, you get a chance to experience it again, but like in a different way. Now it's more so aligning your 9 with the 1 rather than just being, well, you get to align your 1 and the 9 in a different way, because in January. We start off with the 1 and 9 being the month of the year. Anyway, come back in the 1. My 1 life pathers, not only is January a great time for you guys, but also is October. That is a great month for you guys too, my 1 life pathers. Leadership is heavy here. I believe October 2025, we also get into voting our state government, local government elections. So big leadership energy happening there. You know, people caring more about local elections than the federal, putting more interest in, you know, things about that. That would be a heavy 1 energy. People taking more leadership roles on, taking initiative. This is a great time for my 1, 4s, and 7s. 8s, you guys can benefit as well here. That's not to seclude you guys in your business and your leadership in your business. Again, when we deal with the number 1, we're dealing with the letter A, J, and S. You know, A is bringing us back to fire, so now we're moving up again. J is bringing us into the water, so not only do we move, but we're also feeling. And S is air, so it's thoughts. So we're in that space. We're not in earth. So whatever y'all do in the month of 10, remember, you're not there to give, you know, physical born. You know what I'm saying? You might get born to some actions, some ideals, some emotions, some internal laws, but not like a physical item, okay? That's not here yet because we didn't enter back in earth yet. So that's happening there. Now, as far as October goes, we have Jupiter adding to the retrograde. That retrograde begins on October 9th. We're in Gemini with Jupiter, so expansion in our community and communication. And we're taking that retrograde. No, I lied. Scratch that. That was last year's retrograde that ends in February. We're not there yet. Anyway, yeah, nobody's going in retrograde in October. But we do have Neptune entering Pisces on October 23rd, Pisces zodiac on October 23rd. So that retrograde brings them all the way back to Pisces. So in our thought process, you know, our dreams and subconscious is going back into, you know, remembering the delusions and going back to our Akashic records and anything hidden beneath the horizon. October 19th, on a day of knowledge being born, which is going to be a big day, we have Jupiter entering the Cancer constellation, which is going to be a big expansion to downloads. So mark that date, 10/19, on a month where we hit 19, you know, to bring us back into 1 is, yeah, that's a good one. 10/19, yeah, I like that. Then we also have, on October 30th, we have Lilith entering the Scorpio constellation. So rebellious happenings and that are going to be transferring power. So something big is going to happen on October 30th, which we know is like, you know, the veil is thin. And then Neptune enters Draconic Pisces. So our spiritual experience is going back to like everything that's hidden. So even on the other side, the metaphysical side with the spiritual, that's probably the turn that the people that's been keeping delusions, now they get to speak their piece or whatever, redemption type of energy. But that's happening on October 23rd. And so that's what's happening there. Now we can get into November. November is the month of mastery, right? This is the 11th month. This is the only month of mastery that we have, right? And it's happening during the season of like Libra, Scorpio energy, which 7 is God, Libra house. And then Scorpio's energy is 8. That's business, transformation, and power. So those are really dope energies to have during a month of 11 of mastering. So we're mastering that law of justice, truth, and righteousness, and also mastering our empowerment and self-control in that space as well. We're going to take that 11 and put it into the 9, which brings us to 20. So wisdom in our cipher. This is a big Jupiter month, being 20, dealing with Chokma heavy. So, you know, the month of 11, that Jupiter month is a great space for my Sagittarians and my 2 life pathers. People on the 2, 5, and 8, feminine energy could be heavy here with the emotions. 3 is also big on emotions, finding a 2 in the 3, finding a sense of balance and truth in how you feel about things, and the projections you're creating is big here. 4s, you know, learning how to be stable in your interpersonal relationships. You know, don't nix everybody off. You know, 4s like to walk around with heavy scissors. But yeah, 2 is, wisdom. So this is a big month of wisdom, exercising the things that you've learned, especially during the month of 10, is heavy here as well. So as we're in the space of wisdom, this energy of Chokma, the letters here are B, K, T. B being fire, moving into things. Pieces. K being water, so now we're still feeling. And T, now we're in earth. Now a little bit of return starts coming back into the month of 11, into that November month. So you start getting some, energy transference happening. Libra scales, energy transference. Scorpio, figure 8, energy transference. Like that transference between water and air is heavy there. So, that's cool, being in that too. As far as retrogrades go, we have Mercury's last retrograde happening on November 9th, 11/9. 11/9/9 actually, which adds up to 11. So on a day of mastery is when Mercury goes in retrograde. That's going to start at a 6th degree in Sagittarius. So we had that expansion and abundance, that joy, that optimism. We're moving back in those degrees to go back to Scorpio energy. So we're going from fire to water in our dialogue. So we go from speaking into action and optimism and stuff to going back to speaking intuitively and slowing down a little bit. And that's happening on 11/29/9, which is like 11/11/9. So more energy of mastery, mastering your throat chakra, how you communicate with spirits, and how you communicate with your own spiritual self and empower yourself. Heavy there. That's a good space for my invokers too. So like people that be speaking to the spirits and orishas, that's a good time. 11s and 2s is heavy on Oya energy. So heavy Oya energy happening in November. A lot of transformations happening with the storms. Pluto's over there in Aquarius. That means that Oya and Shango are together. Shango was thunder, lightning, and the winds, and Oya was the actual storms. So, those two coming together, expect like big catastrophic, storm-like behavior in a nutshell, right? Jupiter's retrograde starts on 11/11/9 as well. So and it ends on 3/11, which is March 11th in the year of 1. So it starts off in Cancer at the 25 degree, finding balance and harmony with that enforcer, and it ends off at a 15 degree Cancer, so it goes back 10 degrees. How are you today? I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm getting through my 2025 forecast, and I feel good about this. I feel good. It's a good day. But those are the 2 November retrogrades. You got Mercury going from 11/9 to 11/29, and Jupiter going from 11/11 to 3/11. So heavy on the mastery between your throat chakra and your sacral chakra. In that month of 2, which is Jupiter month. So connections with the oracles and the sages, big time, okay? Also remember Mercury, what is that? That's Saturn is still in retrograde. Saturn's retrograde actually ends on November 28th. So you see that wrapping itself up by the end of November. Around the same time Mercury wraps it up. And you still have Uranus in retrograde. And you still have Chiron in retrograde. Then we get into the month of 12. Now we're in the month of knowledge and wisdom that brings understanding. We're in the month of the winter triangle. Creation is heavy here. This is when the seed that we planted really is in the soil, and we're trusting the soil, the darkness. We have the solstice. That's the darkest night of the year. We're really beneath the horizon right now, being in between Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. We're, entering the winter. We're going from autumn to winter. So understanding the challenges that come into our space. Bina, expression. Third house is Gemini house, so community and communication. A lot of people come together, doing the donations, the gift giving, going to church, doing the coat drives, doing the food drives, all of this. Challenges coming from the winter, whether it's your car, because the car is like, bro, it's winter. Whether it's your immune system, because a lot of you guys don't do yourselves right when we're in the autumn season preparing for winter. All those different things, different challenges that we experience. Hey, She Too Lit. Hey, Big Cat. So that's all in the 3. So now we have a 3 and 9. So now we have this creation and this expression on what we give birth to. The winter solstice is a big space to speak into existence the things that you want to give birth to, standing under the things that you want to give life to, which is going to bring us back to knowledge and wisdom, because that 3 and 9 come together and make 12. So that month of 12 is going to be like lots of big repeats. It's going to be like Groundhog's Day for those 31 days to really let you hash out and revise and stand under as we get into the year of 2026, right? Overall, this is the energy of 3, 6, and 9s. Y'all going to shine in the month in December. Excuse me. Got a lot going on for 2.5 seconds. But yeah, 3, 6, 9s is heavy here. 1, 4s, and 7s learn how to express your emotions and communicate. 2, 5s, and 8s find some sense of balance in your emotions and your realms of expression. When we deal with the number 3, we're dealing with the letters C, L, and U. C is, of course, fire. So we're still, we're active. We're acting on some things, acting them out. L is water. So we're also in our intuitive space. And then U is earth. So now we're actually getting into our Jeb, our Malkuth, and borning things. Borning. The new one. So that is what I got for the numbers. Isn't that cool? So as far as like what's happening, Mars goes in retrograde on December 6th, and it starts at 6th degree Leo. Leo is Tippereth. That is the 6th Sephiroth. So we got a heavy 6 energy happening with Mars. Applicating Mars to your daily routine, being confident and courageous with what you enforce in your space, especially as we enter the year 1. Year 1 is associated with Aries energy. So we want that. You want your gut to be on point. Gut health is key here. Fast when you're supposed to fast. Be mindful overindulging into sweets, because 12 is associated with Sagittarius. That's Obatala. That's the sacral chakra. We don't want to have an imbalanced sacral chakra during the month of 3. Okay. And that retrograde goes till February 24th, 2026. And that is that'll be ending in Cancer. Then we have, that's the only one. The December is Mars. Mars goes in retrograde in December. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys, my cosmic nobodies. In December, we also have, we have a couple transits happening on the solstice. We have, first we have, before we even get to the solstice, we have Jupiter entering Gemini constellation. So the actual events of community and communication is going to start experiencing that expansion and abundance. And then we have, on the solstice 12/21, we have Lilith entering Draconic Sagittarius. So that going against the grain of that Sagittarian energy of the sacral chakra, what brings us joy, our sensual and sexual self. Big heavy things happening there. Sex culty stuff might be coming out a little bit more, because that is the darkest night of the year. Might be for those of you guys who do tantric manifestation and stuff, that made this year's solstice is a good day for you. We like it here. And that's a day of 3, 3, 9, 6 and 9. That's 1 and 5. So enforcing, what that's the day of 6. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I know I had another transit during this, but that is the numerology count for the year of 9. And those are the life path numbers who will benefit and all that fun stuff. And I think that's what I got for y'all. Did anybody have any questions? Getting into the year of 9, I do want to do an elemental reading before I close you guys out. So that's what I want to do next. Yeah. So we're going to do that. So like I said, 9 is associated with Cancer energy, which is water. This is the Asad foundation, giving birth. We're in our sacral chakra. This is a big year for womb healing. Womb healing is a big thing here. So sisterhoods, women retreats, goddess retreats, seeing more sisterhoods happening in Hollywood, seeing more sisterhoods happening in government, a lot of sisterly love, a lot of coming together. That's all 9 stuff. More philanthropic actions, more people just giving just cause. Some people giving from their egos, which can also be in alignment with the 9 being Jupiter Sagittarius energy. Listen, Sagittarius energy can be tricky on the 9s because we are also entering the year of the wood snake. This is not a time for impulsive behavior. The wood snake is indeed yang, but it's a methodical yang. It plans shit out. Moving impulsively during the time of the snake will not do well for you. It will not do well for you. So we're in this energy of the 9. This is fire and water. That's where we're at. We're in fire and water happening in our sacral chakra, in our divine womb, in our sensual, sexual, creative self, in our connection with spirit and the portals. Okay, it's the big portal year. Okay, so let's start with my water energies. I'll start with my water signs. So water sign is anywhere you have in your chart that has Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio energy. So for you guys, this is a great year for you. Being in the year 9, Cancer energy is on rampant, so it's more so flowing with your moja, supporting your Cancer placements. Use your other Cancer placements to support your Cancer. So use your other water placements to support your Cancer placement. Yes, it's all about supporting Cancer. That's what we're doing here. Home and family, nurturing yourself, nurturing other people around you, being in your feminine energy, being tapped into the cosmos, bringing your tapped into the cosmos down into, the earthly realm. You know what I'm saying? Following your dreams, your subconscious, being transparent about certain dreams. You're supposed to keep a secret. Some stuff you're supposed to be transparent about. The discernment, you got the discernment. Exercise the discernment or learn the hard way about the discernment. It's all about wherever you're at in your journey in the space and time. But this is what's important for you guys, my 9s. You guys are going to be heavily needed for your nurturing capacity and capabilities and your connection with spirit. So pulling the first card, acceptance. Ooh, and I pulled Neptune, Neptune, Pisces, okay? So acceptance of your spiritual self, your spiritual purpose is heavy here. 44 is a master number. 44 deals with stability and infrastructure. And so having 2 4s is like, stay in your post, you spiritual water signs of where water is placed in your chart. Because you guys are the ones that's going to be providing all the spiritual guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the year for you guys. You guys are heavy on the thing. So to expand on that, also for my Cancers, tapping into valerian root will be good for you guys. Be mindful of headaches. Again, this reading applies to all water signs, Pisces and Scorpio. This includes you too. Work on your mindset of things too. Headaches is at bay. And then we have the moon. We have the moon in reverse though. Cancer energy. It's not time to go inward. It is the time to come out of the moon. But because you are the moon. You guys are the water energy. You guys have it going on in that space. So this is not a time for you guys to go inward and be all to yourselves the way you mysterious Scorpio, Pisces, Cancers like to do. This is time to come outward and stay in your post and do what you are to do. You guys have spent a lot of time going to the oracles and the sages within yourself. You've isolated yourself. You did a good job. We're very proud of you. Now it's time to share. You know what I'm saying? This is time for you to, be where you're supposed to be, because a lot of messages that y'all are getting, we're all supposed to be receiving from you, and you're not doing your job. Expand on it more. We have the reverse Queen of Pentacles. You guys aren't standing on your job. You guys aren't coming into the earth with it. You're not bringing it down into reality. And we need you to bring it down reality so we can do what we're supposed to do. So now the different parts of self for you water babies to focus on, or where water is placed in your chart. I don't have any water in my chart. I got my Pluto and Scorpio. That's the only water I got in my chart. This is my power, please. That's all you're going to get from Sunshine. Service. Acts of service. See? Y'all got to stand on y'all post. Helping people who are ill, who need assistance, guidance. This is sacral chakra help. Again, coming to the year of 9, dealing with your sacral chakra womb. So a lot of you guys are going to be the host of a lot of these womb healing exercises and stuff like that. And not just for women, also for men. Men, you guys got like a whole reproductive system going on over there too. More men coming together and tuning in with their intuitive side, which is still water. But if you guys want to look at it from a Sagittarius point of view, so it doesn't seem so womanly, Sagittarius, Obatala rules over the sacral chakra, so y'all can do it from the fire side of things. But being of service is heavy here too. You guys, learning some sorts of discipline and restraint, but also joy and acceptance of your sacral chakra and your sensual self is heavy here too. You know what I'm saying? But that's for my water. Also, Moon in Aquarius, being individualistic, being rebellious, going against the grain. A lot of your downloads will tell you to do that, okay? Moon in Aquarius. That's where it's at for y'all. Pay attention when the moon is in Aquarius in the transit chart. For those of you guys who have moon in Aquarius, you guys are heavy here too. We need y'all. Seven of Swords is finding balance and harmony in the intellect of things. So finding that divine connection between what I know and what I feel. All right? That's where we're at with it. And then, as far as the divination card, fortunate trip. Some good adventures happening for you. All right. I have this on a 4-1. So stability and harmony as well as leadership in that space is a big one. 4 is also Cancer house. You know what I'm saying? And being a leader. So that's what I got for you water babies, your water placements and stuff like that. Y'all are where water is at in your chart. Like y'all going to serve heavy in this period of time. Now we can get into the fire because 9 is also associated with Sagittarius energy, which is like the utopia, the joy, the creativity, you know, now we're getting to the downloads from the Oracle and Sage, which the moon also does. Cancer energy also does with that 9. But, you know, Jupiter does it from a more fired up, now I want to get it done kind of like, now let's act on it. Or, you know, this motivated me, or I find joy in this. Like, it's more like, than Cancer. Cancer is like, I'll keep this to myself. But so for my fire babies, you know, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, where that is in your chart, this is a good space for you guys too. A lot of abundance coming to my fire babies. A lot of opportunities to act on things. Now, for my fire signs, y'all have to be aware of when you guys are behaving impulsively. I went through the letters for each month. Y'all know what time we're in the fire, and y'all know what time we're not in the fire. Not every season has fire in it, okay? What season doesn't have fire? Aries is spring. Sagittarius is autumn, and Leo is summer. So we don't have any fire in autumn. So autumn, chill out. You know, if you're in those letters, yeah, okay. You know, tap into the fire. But remember, we're not in the season of fire. So while you're tapping in that fire, is more of a personal experience than like receiving like a return outside of self. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. Again, don't be acting impulsively. This is the year of the snake. This is the year of being methodical and planning things out and being very intellectual about what it is that you're doing. See all the facets. Go to Metu Netter. Read volume 1. Start your new year off with that energy, especially because we're still in the Sagittarius constellation on the Vedic chart, and we're here until January 17th. So, you know, I would definitely go there to my fire signs. Yeah, so let's pull a card for the homies. Ooh, foresight. We want foresight, not hindsight. Uranus, which is the progressive pushes that get you to do things different, as well as Venus. So progressive pushes in your heart chakra and making moves towards what you find value in the space of business and love is heavy. Coca is here. Coca is really good for like connecting to spirits, also like heart health and confidence. We have the number 3 and 6. So the 3s, the 6s, 6 energy. Snake is dealing with 6. Also coming into the 9. So, you know, foresight is a big thing for you guys. Having premonitions, seeing things ahead of time. Again, having a plan. To have a plan, you have to have foresight. You want to be methodical. So if you have to look at it from a spiritual point of view of, oh, I'm predicting it. And like I said, the downloads that Sagittarius energy gets, Leo and Aries is supporting. It's, you know, helping you plan things out. And it does it a little different than water. It makes you go, oh, I want to act it out. So like, you know, allow that foresight to help you have a plan instead of being impulsive. You know what I'm saying? If you see how it can go wrong, you know, take a second, thank yourself for seeing those corners that you were about to overlook if you move too fast, and just find solutions to what could go wrong, and that'll bring you in. Sometimes that comes from an energy outside of self. Like, you know how you be planning stuff and you're like, damn, I don't like telling nobody my secrets because they quit the past their fear. But sometimes they're telling you what to plan for. Take it as that sometimes. Sometimes spirit puts people in your space to tell you, well, make sure you plan for this because this could happen. You know what I'm saying? Rather than like, I'm speaking fears on you. This is all the stuff that can go wrong. All right. Because I know sometimes when people do that to y'all, it makes y'all be even more impulsive. Well, now I got to prove you wrong and still not think about stuff. Expanding on this is the 9 of Wands, coming into completion with your actions, bringing things into fruition. We're moving on to new things, better things. You guys are definitely wrapping up some projects this year and getting your return so that a lot of you guys in the fire space are starting brand new things in the year of 1, which is cool because the year of 1 is Aries. So we go from being in the Sagittarian fire to being in the Aries fire. So this is a good space for my fire babies. Please start putting out the things you guys have been working on. Don't keep them to yourself. Okay. You know, you got some creative things going on. Also expanding. Then we got a reverse 9 of Wands too. So not only do you got the upright, you got the reverse as well. So some of y'all not going to do it. Some of y'all not making it. Oh my gosh. I hope all of y'all make it, but I feel like some of you guys won't. You guys going to have to do year 1 through 9 again with these projects, which is fine because it gives you time to check your work for another 9 years. You know what I'm saying? But don't let that be you. Bring some things into fruition. Give birth to it, you know. So, not everything that you want to give birth to will come, but this year. But that'll give you opportunity to plan for that for the next, right? Hey, Tam. Abundance in the solar plexus chakra, another fire energy. Yeah, I just feel this for y'all. Now, this in this photo, you see the girl, she dropped her stuff down there. The guy, he dropped his, no, it was the guy that dropped it. The guy dropped it and he's worried about it. He was drunk and he wasn't treating it right. He was gambling and drinking with it. So he dropped the money down there. And then this girl, she really needed the money to pay her house bills and she found the money. So it's kind of that kind of situation. This is the upright. This is the upright 9 versus the downright 9. You could either be the man that was playing around with his abundance or whatever and wasn't doing it right, so he lost it. Or you could be the girl that's been doing all the things and now you need it and it comes to you. So, how you've been moving, determines on what side of that is going to be for you. And then that's also solar plexus chakra. It's a yellow card. So for my fire babies, focus on your solar plexus chakra. You're in celestial enforcer. Enforce the internal law and all those things in your space with confidence and courageousness. How you doing, Tam? We also have Saturn in Sagittarius. Challenges coming to the oracle on the stage. Challenges coming to some of that action. And you see it, it's in the Malkuth, the Jeb. This is the Earth. This is 1 and 0. The 10 of Wands. Taking it the next step further from the 9 of Wands. Y'all pull 2 9 of Wands and they're going to pull a 10. But that's because the challenges are coming when you try to bring stuff into the Earth. Okay? So the things that y'all want not going to come to y'all easy, but y'all got to have faith. This year is for y'all to create those things. You can have them, but it depends on where you at with this solar plexus chakra. If y'all been playing, the universe going to give you that energy back, y'all. Culpable girl. It's a little sneaky somebody in your space. I don't know who that is, but it's somebody plotting, somebody watching you, and they're plotting on a way to get into your 9s, to be like the opposite energy on here. They're trying to put you in that space where you're losing your abundance and they get to grab it. So be mindful of that too, because there might be some people in situations that are testing you, and they're going to test you in this form. Okay? So be mindful of that, fire babies. Your impulsiveness. So now we're going to go into air. And air in the year of 9, a lot of intellectual energies. Okay, so this can get weird for you, air babies. This can put your intellectual energy can be like overpowered by the emotions of nurturing. So a lot of wound healing happening to my air babies. You guys have been intellectualizing your emotions. You guys have been doing the we to cover up how you feel about me. And so this year of 9 is going to show you community, a lot of downloads, a lot of like support around you and nurturing to those holes that come from you intellectualizing more than you're feelizing. That's what I was going to say. More than you're feeling. And so being aware of that. Also, fire and water move a lot slower than you guys, so you might feel a slowdown period. It's okay, sometimes labor takes a little while when we're pushing things out. Also keeping in mind that this energy calls on you to take action, and I would hope that you would take focus. Focus can be a challenge in your actions, especially being in a we're in a wood snake, which is earth snake. So it's a combination of even more slower energy, where that calls on you guys to be very methodical and as intelligent as you air babies can be. You can be very impulsive, especially when it comes to being a rebel or not being told to do what to do, or being unique or going to the beat of your own drum or whatever. And we love that about you. You're so inspiring. In the same breath, moving faster than the elements around you can be a demise. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare. The hare was all like, yeah, I'm out here and I'm moving and I'm going to take a nap. Fuck it. You're like, you're moving so fast that you're not really thinking through the actions that you're doing. I don't want that for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, use that intellectual to not be quick witted the way you guys have been. Because y'all love to think on y'all toes and you're really good at it. But use that to think about more of the long game. That fire is going to eat you up. That 9 in Sagittarius fire is going to eat you up. You're going to have a lot of, like, you know, I don't want to say violent, because Sagittarius is not super violent, but it could be very, you know, violent-esque. It could be that pushback if you too much air. It's like air going on fire. And then you can also burn yourself out because you can blow that fire out. Then with the water, it's like the air and water, that's like Shango oil type energy, which can be very dramatic if you're not moving right. So your pushback can be in a lot of like altercations with other people, being so matter-of-factly. However, you guys are undergoing a lot of transformations. You know, Pluto is over there in the air. We have some major planets moving into Gemini. So Lilith will be in Libra. We'll even have Karma entering Libra at some point. So air is going to be big on the forefront of like how fast you're moving, how well you're intellectualizing, you know, being on the we and learning how to, you know, accept the energy exchanges you're receiving as a response to, you know, your thought process. Yeah. It could get real difficult. I feel a lot of difficulty for y'all. It could get real difficult for y'all in the social realm and y'all relationships. In y'all community and stuff. It could get real hectic. All right, so let me pull a card because it just got real heavy over here. I'm not saying this is not the year for y'all. I'm just saying there's a lot going on for y'all. Wisdom. So, okay, thank you. That was a way lighter way to put it because I'm like, what the fuck? So wisdom is ruled by Jupiter. And so wisdom is you like have this knowledge, but it's putting you in situations to exercise this knowledge, right? And that's where you get the wisdom from. We're paying attention to your Jupiter placement and your Pluto placement. Again, I talked about Pluto being in Aquarius. Jupiter will also be in Gemini. We talked about this. Hey, did I just say this? You be on one. Okay. These are my backup singers. I'm David Ruffin, okay? So 2 and 8 is finding balance, harmony, and justice with the transformations that's coming into your space is heavy here. All right, so that's big on y'all, my air babies. It's just a lot going on. The elder tree is a good one. So when we enter the season of elder on the druid scale or whatever, that might be where you get a lot of your ahas. You know what I'm saying? So get ready for them. But yeah, I see a lot of like, you know, big transformations happening, how you interact with society, how society is interacting with you based upon your level of intellect. And so to expand on that, we have the Page of Wands, because you're the one in control. But you all, see, this is what I see a lot of. I see a lot of this kind of pushback from how y'all be moving and how y'all been moving. And with Pluto like being solid in Aquarius and doing the retrogrades in Aquarius, same thing with Jupiter and Uranus doing their thing in Gemini. Like I just see a lot of this for you guys. And that's just what I see. And I'm not saying that's going to go for everybody. It's just like what I feel right now in this moment for you guys. It's a lot of like restructure that has to happen. But when you think about it in a whole overall, as Aquarius rules over society, society does need to undergo a lot of harsh transformations to grow how we need to grow. You know what I'm saying? If you think about Gemini deals with community, tri-city areas, your neighborhood, as well as your family, your bloodline. So that Gemini connection needs a big, you know, transformation as well. And then when you think about Libra air, Libra more so deals with interpersonal, one-on-one relationships and the contracts and bonds we have, you know, and that needs a big, you know, transformation as well. So a lot of that is going to end up being like this. It's going to go out like this. It's not going to be easy, you know, to rip from a lot of these exchanges, these air exchanges. And then we have the 9 of Chalices. Okay, mother, giving birth. So there is, you know, this sense of completion and intuition and cleansing and all of that comes out of this. But it is going to be heavy. It's going to be very heavy. So let's talk about what spaces of yourself to focus on to my air folks out here. 9 also deals, we're in the year 9, we're also dealing with that Cancer energy there too. So Cancer season might be a big season for my air babies out there. My cards keep falling. We have release got thrown at me, so I'm just going to share that one with y'all. Now we're dealing with the third eye chakra with releasing a lot of your pain and your guilt and the skeletons you hide in and the things that you're dragging in your space. So that's a big one. That's probably what a lot of the transformations that are happening in the air with that's resorting to is a big release for you guys. And that's beautiful. It will be, it's just like, during the beginnings of this year, it may be very hard and it's going to be hard. Very, very hard. Bina, more challenges. We're on the third Sephiroth. This is Mars and Capricorn. So taking action towards the challenges and they give you like a better discipline. We're in the 3 of coins. So creation and expression and our physical self is heavy here. I did have it in reverse, but I don't do reverses on this deck. That's cool. So taking action, being methodical about your root chakra, about the infrastructure of things. A lot of this is when I pull this really feels like us as a whole, as a collective, but I do know that does affect air placements on an individual scale too, wherever air is in your chart. But as a collective, it just feels like a lot of pushback, a lot of breaking down from, the powers that be. Depends on whoever you're standing under. Now, if you stand under yourself, then there'll probably be a lot of self-work that has to go on of, how hard you are on yourself, how much grace you give yourself and stuff like that. But if you're standing under other like entities like the fiscal system or, the military system, that's what I feel heavy here is military, the governmental system, the public school system, whatever other entities, it is going to be a lot of challenges happening in that space too. All right, so being mindful and just like the extra card, completion, bringing things into completion. And we got a 1 up there from my air baby. So once we get to the end of this year of 9, it's going to be like we're going to be set for the year 1 to now, because a lot of you guys had your spiritual awakening during this last 9-year cycle. So a lot of you guys will be very well versed to be able to be more ritualistic when we re-enter the year of 1. So especially, my air signs, and then us as different levels of society and energy exchanges. That's big. This just felt very heavy, but it felt like even in the lightness and the completion and the release of it all, it still feels like it's like heavy shadow work happening with the air, with the intellect and what we know. A lot more coming to fruition is going to blow a lot of people's minds, and it just, I want to get out of that. Let's move on to the next element because that was a lot. Let's get to the earth last, but most certainly not least. Earth sign. I'm a big earth. I'm a Virgo and Capricorn stellium, so we like it here. So my earth babies dealing with the fire and the water. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all don't really like to be touched by too much, especially my Taurus, my fixed earth energy. Y'all the most stubborn of them all. Slow and steady wins this race. You know what I'm saying? Taurus energy, y'all gonna do great in the year of snake because y'all already move slow and steady. Y'all very into what y'all value and what y'all find important, what y'all prioritize, especially in the material realm. Find a balance between what you prioritize between the physical and the non-physical. That'll do well for you guys. My Virgos, y'all love to be adaptable anyway. Snake is the 6th zodiac sign. Y'all control the 6th, so y'all staying in y'all self-management, organization, working on the moral integral code, still paying attention to the details of your daily routine, planning those out instead of being impulsive, but also still remembering what we learned with the year of 8 of flowing at the same time. That's heavy for you guys. For my Capricorns, you guys are very, determined. Y'all gonna go up the mountain regardless. Y'all are the goats, no matter what comes your way, which will do well for the snake. Remember to have a plan, have an infrastructure, know what you're going for when you do it, because you guys are the cardinal energy, so not too much moves alongside of you. It's more so you leading the way. So keep that into consideration when you're trying to look to your left or your right. You know what I'm saying? But that's heavy for you guys. Earth, we got a lot of letters happening, a lot of numbers happening in favor of you guys, giving birth to things. The season that we don't experience Earth in is Capricorn, is winter, and Virgo is autumn. Well, Virgo is summer, and what's the other? I just said it. Taurus is the spring. So it's like, it's the autumn. It's Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So our autumn season is when we don't experience the earth. Okay. So Be mindful of that period of time is when it's just a lot of like water and air going on and a little bit of fire. And it's not time for you to manifest unless you're dealing with those personal letters, and then it's more of a personal experience than a collective as a whole. But yeah, I think that y'all staying in your slow and steady space, taking a breath, not allowing the traumatic events from being in the year of 8 get to you too much. I know the year of the dragon was kind of crazy being on the 8. Nothing could really stay the same for you. It was a lot going on. It was very difficult to stay in a routine or order of things because it was just so many transformations from your workplace to your business to your home space to your health and all these things. Just everything was just changing. But it was exercising you to be more flexible. So now that now we're entering the year 9, it's like now you're giving birth to the things that you were flexible on. Now you're getting your return to show you like this is how flexible you were and how stable you were at the same time. So you're getting your space in that, okay? And now you'll be able to, play with both because you got your exercise from both. But be methodical here. You don't have to flow so much here. You can have your plan. It's a safe space, Earth babies. So now we have a space of rebirth, transformations, rebirth happening. Here you see the little baby. We're on the ayahuasca, going on the ayahuasca trip. Sounds fun. We're at a 5-0, so enforcing in your cipher what it is that you want in your space. Working on the Tippereth, the confidence and courageousness, because the year 8 was a doozy for us. We are focusing on our Pluto, our Jupiter, and Neptune placements, all in the subconscious and the dreams, and all the things that we've downloaded from being in that water of the year of 8 would do us well. All the spiritual work that we did, how we decided to ingest things and, allow those to create a birth with you in this year. You know what I'm saying? So to expand on that, the ayahuasca rebirth, we are coming into the star card. All right, don't turn your back. Don't turn your back. I know the year of 8 was a lot. It was a lot, and it left a lot of you guys in space. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know if I believe anymore. I don't know what this is anymore. Don't turn your back. Don't turn your back. It's not a good time to do that. This is the time where you're finally going to get the things. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to be that upset. It's okay. Come back. And also to expand on that, we have a reverse 10 of wands. See my man trying to hold it together, trying to keep it together. I know it was hard. We're trying to keep it together. Keep it together. It was a lot going on, and I know it hurt y'all a lot, and it got y'all like really shooken up. But that's what the year 8 was for. It was to loosen you up, and now you have all this room to invite other things in your space. And now there's no excuse to stick to certain stuff because that's not even really here anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't use certain things as excuses anymore. A lot of you guys got catapulted into whole new situations where the old excuses, the old reasons, the old routine don't serve. And so that's why a lot of that transformation happened. If you guys look back on these last 11 months, you Earth babies, a lot of things is different. You are experiencing stuff you never thought. And yeah, it could be putting you in a discerning place because it wasn't in your plans, but you were being too strict on your plans and you weren't trusting the universe enough. And so now it's in a space like, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Oh my gosh, y'all some crybabies. You're going to be all right. It's okay. You ain't nobody's victim. Heal that shit in your heart. Fix it. Fix it. Because you don't want to be giving birth to no victimhood in this year 9. That's not what you want. Relax, take a breath, forgive the universe, forgive yourself, and then hug yourself because you're like, damn, I did it. I went through all of that. I experienced all of that. All this shit happened. Like, this was crazy. And look, I'm still here. I'm still standing. All right. We also have Natal. Now we're in Venus and Scorpio at that. So transformations and empowerment happening with the celestial designers. A lot of those transformations happen to make you value things different, find worth in things different, value yourself, love yourself, see the beauty in your transformations. See the beauty and see the balance. You know what I'm saying? Have different energy exchanges now because of the transformations. They were here to empower you and show you, like, look at all the stuff you can overcome. And just imagine it. I mean, there's going to be different experiences you're going to come into, and you're going to be like, yeah, I can do this. This is easy. I'm not even thinking twice about it, because look at what you just did through the year 8. Be mindful of a selfish mother. And it has a 6 on top, dealing with that snake energy. Be mindful of that selfish maternal energy. We don't want to be caught up in that, whether you are the mother, you have the mother, you're around mothers like that. Be mindful. Also, you could be that mother to yourself. You're being selfish as an adult and not letting your inner children have a certain say in things, which is not good in the year of 9, because Sagittarius wants to touch the inner child of everyone, bringing that joy, that creativity. You know what I'm saying? That is a real joyous fire energy. So you don't want to be that selfish parent to your inner child. Let that inner creative self fly and talk to you on a regular basis, to my earth babies. I know, I feel it. And I'm an earth sign, like I told y'all. Listen, I got stories. I can tell y'all how this year went. It was crazy. And no, we're not in the same place, but we made it. And look at all these different holes that you have. Now you have room, like anything could happen in these holes now. So it's like, dang, like, a lot of stuff that I wanted to manifest that was different than what I had, I now have space to have it. And so you got to you got to do a little applause for that, right? Right? Something. All right, so now that's really what I got for you, Cosmic Nobodies. We done went through the numbers of 2025. We went through the planetary transits and the retrogrades of 2025. We done went through the life path numbers and the birthday numbers and the letters and the elements of 2025. I think y'all got a nice gist of what's happening. I will see y'all tomorrow for the hump day reading, the planetary forecast. We can talk about the new moon, the Sagittarius new moon we just had, and setting more intentions. This year 9 is going to be really dope for us. And for those of you guys who are just tuning in, you guys can check me out on YouTube, lesnobodies. You can find this full video. I went through all the numbers of 2025 and all the different events that could happen. And yeah, y'all got your reading for the year. Yay! Now reach out if you would like a personal reading and you would like to align your personal numbers and astrological placements with the 2025 calendar. I am here for y'all. I not only do this in a one-time reading, but I can do this in an ongoing, astro chakra therapy session where we align these planetary placements and numbers into your sephiros, into your chakras, and we do, different motivational therapy techniques, art therapy techniques, all that fun stuff like that. It's really fun. Yeah. That's what I got. Peace, y'all. I'm going to exit out of here. Yeah, I'm sure I want to stop. I'm going to exit out of here.